Hello everyone, and welcome to a game called Reimei no Gakuen, which roughly translates to School of Fame according to Google. This is a game currently in development by... oh god, I can never remember this person's name. Hang on, I'm gonna look it up. Reikon Kitsune. Demo just released like yesterday. So I thought, heck, why not play the game, right? See what it's all about. Currently in development. Not really sure when it's going to be released, but let's just start the game, shall we? Let's get right into it. There's apparently a Kickstarter campaign for this game. I don't know if it's started yet, but welcome. This demo is in progress alpha. Several temporary and unfinished assets. Along the way, everything will be thoroughly polished and revised. This version of the demo has finished base sprites for all the main cast and most of the side characters. Several main characters and side characters also have a second outfit, sketched or finished. Non-human and minor characters do not have sprites yet. There are 3 finished backgrounds. All backgrounds have one version at the moment. Several of the CGs are finished, and while the others are colored sketches. There will be more added later on, including the reappearing combat illustrations for most of the characters. The GUI, graphic user interface, is mostly finished, but there will be some small adjustments and changes, like finishing up the gallery, which doesn't work yet, or adding unlockable goals. At the moment, the music is mostly royalty-free placeholders, with 3 original pieces. Sound effects is also partly temporary. Alright, well, this guy lays it out. He's like, okay, this is what's done. You know, this is what's finished, this is what's going to change in the future. I like that. Transparency. Got around 2 hours of gameplay. Oh gosh. Contains a prologue and the first chapter. It's going to be a long one. 70 plus hours of game. 70 plus hours. That's a lot of game. For a visual novel, that's huge. 30 plus characters. Wow. Sprites, several outfits. 6 characters, 2 romance and a common root. 13 plus content. No adults here, unfortunately. No adult content. Which is fine, not every game needs it. Partly fully original soundtrack. 30 plus backgrounds, 80 plus CGs, 10 plus chibi, which means deformed or like adorableized things. CGs. 15 plus reappearing combat CGs. Possible features. Partial voice acting, animated chibi and combat CGs, iOS and Android versions. Those will most likely be related to the Kickstarter stretch goals, I would imagine. I don't know what the goals are, like I said, so. Hope you have fun. Please let me know what you think. Oh, I will. Calculators, heroine's thoughts, text messaging, yeah, it's usually standard. Spacebar, enter, left click, yeah. Okay, oh, this is nice. This lays it out all. Because there's so many times where I'm like, what is the control for getting rid of the text box so I could get a CG or something? And oftentimes it's spacebar, but not always. Sometimes it's some other random key. I like that. The world that we live in is full of mysteries, secrets, and miracles. Magic performed by fairies and witches, clashes between demons and other supernatural phenomena occur daily. On the daily, this happens. But they stay hidden from the eyes of everyday humans, like Hogwarts and Harry Potter. However, the balance of this enigmatic and harmonious world was offset. It happened 20 years ago, on a seemingly peaceful summer night, just like tonight. All around the world, thousands of colorful shooting stars lit up the skies. Wow. This was the Hoshi no Ame, a literal rain of stars. That's what it means. Rain of stars. While humans only found it to be a beautiful and mysterious phenomenon, the supernatural beings could feel that it was a sign of some big change. The happenings of that night and the cause of the Hoshi no Ame has been unknown ever since. but the change after it was clearly sensible. In the past 20 years, mysterious occurrences happened many times that even the supernatural beings were unable to comprehend. And perhaps the most mysterious among them was the appearance of the Shin. A special ability that some of the human children who were born after that night 20 years ago bear. It's a power that takes various forms. Moreover, its nature is unpredictable. There's no way to tell who will have it or what form it will take. There were even cases where several people shared one Shin, or one person had multiple Shins. Only one thing came to be certain about this ability. It's accompanied by misfortune. The children who own it and their surroundings are subjected to great dangers. Many tragedies have occurred because of this negative effect on the Shin. The attempts to protect these children led to the foundation of Crystal Rose. A special department designed for those with the Shin, formed by the director of Aurora Academy, who was one of the rare humans connected to the supernatural side of the world. With the help of some sympathetic humans and other species, he started the search for the bearers of the Shin. Finding them, bringing them to the academy where they could learn to use their abilities and thus granting them a chance to change their cruel fate was a hard task. But it proved to be a possible way to save them. Indeed, it was a possible way. Me being able to survive to this day is solid proof of that. Without their help, I wouldn't be able to be here right now. A gentle spring breeze ruffles up my hair, waking me from my half-asleep state. Blinking from the blinding light, I stretch my arms slowly. Then with a little yawn, I push myself up and look at the town spreading out below me. My thoughts wander back to my past memories once more. Since then, this town and the academy in it have been my home. Alright, it's high time I go back, I mutter while stretching my arms again. Then with a swift movement, I jump down onto the roof of a neighboring building and start to run, leaping from one building to another in the direction of Aurora Academy. After running for about 10 minutes, the gates of the academy finally come into sight. The streets around here are calm and quiet. Only a few townspeople walk by, chatting from time to time. Passing through the gates, I step onto the main road of the academy that leads to the center of the academy grounds. Flower petals fall slowly in the warm spring breeze from the blossoming cherry trees planted on both sides of the road. Not one person can be seen near or far. The academy is empty, but not for much longer. In a few days, the new semester starts, so the students who left for spring break will probably start returning to the dorms tomorrow. And according to the president of Crystal Rose, this time there will be several new members joining their special department too. I glance back at the gates shortly, then dash off with only one thought on my mind. This will be an eventful year. Yes, indeed. After a good night's sleep, I wake up to the sun's rays seeping through the closed curtains. I roll onto my side, glancing at the clock in my room. Oh man, it's 8 o'clock already. It's actually 7:23. Very oddly specific time. But what is time if not specific? Then I turn back, pulling the blanket on me from the corner of my bed. I should rest till I can. Mumbling the words, I slowly drift off to sleep again. Now we're definitely going to be late. My eyes snap open and I bolt up at the sudden noise. Huh? Gunshots! I jump out of bed, throw on some clothes nearby, and run to the diner, where I assume the noise came from. Halting before the entry, I spotted 2 bullet holes in the paper panel of the door. Hurriedly, I step into the room where I notice a girl standing a few meters away from me. She turns my way when she hears me entering. My gaze shifts from her to the guns in her hand, and the guy who they are pointed at. And my shoulders drop at the sight of the familiar smile of my senior. Tsurugi. What did he say this time? Morning, Cheryl. Our first new member has arrived. I stay still for a few seconds, looking from Tsurugi to the girl and back at him. Yeah, it's too early in the morning to deal with something like this. Ah, I see. I turn around and walk to the counter to grab a plate and some pancakes for breakfast. Then, passing by them, I sit down at the table and start nibbling at the sweet snack. You aren't helping me. I continue eating one without minding him much. The girl beside him slightly lowers her guns, confused. You are so cruel, you know that? So cruel. Like, I don't even know how cruel you are. Good morning, everyone. Ah, Rosaline. I like her sprite. That's really nice. She's got a clock on her chest. The lively girl stepping in from the room draws our attention to herself, and everyone looks in her direction. She looks around the room with an unwavering smile, comprehending the situation perfectly. Ah, I see we are having the usual peaceful morning. And still wearing a radiant smile, she turns to the girl with guns. You must be one of the new members joining this year. I'm Rosaline Emeraude, the president of the Special Department, Crystal Rose. The hard-to-understand girl by the table is Cheryl, and the boy with the awkward smile beside you is Tsurugi. And we are happy to welcome you to Aurora Academy. Happy? Rosaline? And he has a problem dealing with girls, so please don't mind whatever he said. Huh? Ah, I apologize for my behavior. I shouldn't have been so hot-headed, even if he was acting rudely. Tsurugi sighs in relief when she finally lowers her guns and hastily escapes to the other end of the room. My name is Victoria Drywell. I will be in your care from today onwards. Then, Victoria, how about I show you around the dorm after breakfast? That would be great. As for you two, the preparations around our dorm are done, but the other dorms and the student council could use some help, so I said you would lend them a hand. Alright. I nod, and after returning to my emptied plate, I got ready for leaving. By the entrance of the dorm, I spot Tsurugi standing there idly. Let's walk to the gates together. We can decide who is going to help out where. Sure. Let's see, how about I help out at the dorms and you at the student council? You sure you want to help out at Crescent Lily with Lila? Well, not really. But the preparations at Crescent Lily are usually finished by this time. So, you know, I'm lazy. Anyway, Miss Tyra is almost a non-stop in the student council office these days, so I would rather go with the dorms. I wish I could act as normally with all girls as with you and Rosaline. But other girls are... well, you know, it just seems so complicated to get along with them. I mean, you saw that, didn't you? She actually shot at me. I mean, I can't deal with that. Too much pressure. What did you say to her? Knowing Tsurugi, I had no doubt she had a reason to do it. By the way, is there any news from the principal? No. Most likely, we won't be able to count on him this time either. No, that's not really surprising. But seriously, how can he just leave the coordination of the academy to the teachers and the dorm president for years? To boot, he left without notice and we can barely hear from him. But that's just like him, and everyone is already used to it. But now that I think about it, maybe he did contact Rosalie not long ago. I remember she mentioned something about a new dorm president last month. Oh yeah! She said the principal had found someone for the post of the Black Cat dorm president. Hmm? But the new president is usually chosen from the students who have attended the academy for at least a year. Well, it looks like this time around it will be a new student, actually. He might have already arrived. The gates of Crystal Rose Fields come into view, and after saying bye, I make my way to the main building. The gates of Crystal Rose Fields comes into view, and after saying bye, I make my way to the main building, but, as I've already said, at the doorway I stop in my tracks, hoping at the student council. That means doing paperwork all day, that's what that means. After a minute of thinking, I turn on my heels. I'd rather skip it. Do I have the option to skip it? Will it come up? Who knows? And I'd rather avoid him for a while. After strolling through the rows of the academy for a good hour, I finally get to a place with color. I end up in front of the academy gates where the first students are already arriving. I take a look around the children and parents unpacking their cars and carrying luggage towards the dorms. No new Crystal Rose members here. Well, I mean, it's not like they usually arrive among normal students. I turn around and take a few steps before I see some movement in the woods out of the corner of my eye. Without thinking, I jump after it and pursue the creature that I spotted. I speed up my steps so that I can catch a glimpse of the escaping creature. I hope it's just some animal, but I have to make sure. You never know. Around this time of year, the number of demons entering the academy grounds always increases because of the new Crystal Rose members arriving. And unfortunately, they tend to attack normal students too. So to be vigilant is a must now. We can't let any possible danger be disregarded. Huh? Why can't I catch up to it? One of the abilities that my Shin grants me is high speed. Such speed that no normal human or other Shin user is able to keep up with me. And yet I can't catch this thing. Catching a small animal should be easy. This is no ordinary animal. I stop in my tracks when the quiet rustling of the escaping creature comes to a sudden stop. I take a few steps forward without making any noise and study my surroundings. The trail of the creature ends here, but there is no animal or demon to be seen anywhere. Where could it be? He couldn't have escaped. I bend down slightly to pull out the knives tied to my thighs. All of a sudden, two dark green spikes pierce the branch just above my head. Without hesitation, I throw one of my knives in the direction the spikes came from, then take shelter behind a tree. There's a loud screech and the sound of the creature landing on the ground a few meters away from me. I look out for my hiding place. This time, I'm able to see the creature in full view. A smaller bird-like being with spikes and feathers covering its body. The color of its spikes and feathers changes to match its surroundings. They're very interesting. A demon. It doesn't take a minute and the creature breaks into a run. I immediately start to chase it, but after a few seconds, I'm already unable to see it. Damn it. That's a poison Ankoku, one of the demon's best at hiding and escaping with its high speed and changing appearance. To boost it knows very well when it stands against a stronger enemy. Wait, hang on. Let me read that again. Doesn't make any more sense. Okay. But once it feels safe, it will start looking for weak prey. I can't let it get away. I hasten my steps so that I go at my full speed, only to arrive on the main road in a few seconds. I still see the demon entering the woods on the other side of the road, but when I head the same way, I run into the side of an arriving student. Huh? My vision blurs for a second. When it clears, well, we gotta continue the chase. I'm sorry. I instantly continue the pursuit of the Ankoku. I rush to the other side of the road and jump into the woods. I try to follow the track of the demon, but I have no luck in finding any signs of it. Damn, it got away! After wandering for a while, I rest by a tree and take out my cell phone. I need to inform the others. Tsurugi and Rosaline, I met a poison-type Ankaku on school grounds, but lost track of it. It's probably hiding somewhere around the Lucent Fairy dorm. A few seconds after sending the message, my cell chimes. From Tsurugi. I'm there right now, so I can put out some traps and catch it easily. You go back to the dorm. Rosaline will need your help later on. Alright, no, then let's head back. Leave it to him. A few minutes later, I'm about to turn on the road leading to Crystal Road's fields when I hear hurried footsteps. The next moment, I'm tackled from behind and squeezed so tight I can barely breathe. Aw, Cheryl, I missed you so much. I was Lila. Summer break was so long, I just couldn't wait to get a feel of your cuteness. Lila, not long time no see. Too long. Though France was beautiful, as it always is. Oh, that reminds me. I got your souvenir right here with me. Souvenir? Lila searches through her handbag as I wait curiously to see what she brought. My hunch is proved right when a familiar sweet scent hits my nose. I can feel the excitement building up, and by the time Lila pulls the gift out of her bag, I'm almost hopping up and down from eagerness. I see your nose is as good as ever, Cheryl. Well, here you go. Lila presents me with 5 bars of beautifully wrapped chocolate. And I hug them to myself, opening one right away and savoring the delicious taste. Tastes far better than any of the ones I ate recently. It's from one of the best artisan chocolate producers in France. And I see it is worth its name. And I'm sure its price. I nod, and after thanking her, we chat a bit about the summer vacation. Well, I need to leave soon. There's a lot of work in the dorm now that the students started to move in. Being a dorm president is really strange this time of year. Yeah, I imagine so. I pat her on the shoulder as encouragement, and she smiles back happily. But before that, you should know 2 things. 1, you shouldn't visit the new dorm president in the Black Cat dorm. Especially not alone. Oh, it's a guy then. Yeah, the other guy mentioned it was a guy. Yes, and of course him being male is already enough reason for you to avoid him. I don't know if I like that. Especially with your cuteness. Okay. But this guy, he's strange. Strange. Yes, suspiciously strange. And just imagine, his family name means wolf. That's so creepy. I'm a little afraid of what he would do to you. So please stay away from him. Lila glances at her watch, then hugs me again and turns to leave. And 2, watch out, Hiryu is looking for you. Her last words managed to sweep out all the excitement left by my sweet souvenir in me. I should immediately return to the dorm. But although what she said was enough to make me lose my excitement, but not my piqued curiosity. Alright, I want to meet this new dorm president of Black Cat. Is he really so strange, or was it just Lila's usual contempt towards man making her talk like that? Making her talk? Okay. Oh, she just doesn't like men. Okay. I want to see him for myself. I take a bite from the chocolate bar in my hand and turn the way that Lila came from. Alright, let's see what's so scary about this guy. I walk at a fast pace and cautiously look around every now and then. The Black Cat Dorm is really close to the Crystal Rose field, so if I'm careful enough, I might make it there and back without running into Hiryu. But when have I ever been lucky, right? The sound of approaching footsteps catches my attention. I dive into the bushes by the roadside in a second and wait quietly. In a short time, someone passes by the bushes with hurried footsteps. From my hiding place, it's pretty much impossible to see who it is, so I stay put waiting for the person to leave. But their steps come to a halt, of just a few meters away from me. With bated breath, I glance in the direction. I can see they're slowly turning around as if searching for something. And that girl, where could she be? She must be around here somewhere. Kiryu. And he knew that my curiosity would get the better of me. Finally, he starts walking away, his footsteps sounding further and further away. I should return to the dorm. Oh, no, we don't. We're waiting. I should wait just a bit longer, just to make sure that he won't realize I'm here. I bide my time until I can't hear his footsteps at all, and even then take extra care to not make any noise while standing and leaving. In the dorm, I had to find Rosaline right away. She's the last person I would want to make wait. She looks kind of understanding at first, but is actually more scary than anyone I know. Ah, you're back, Cheryl, just in time. She looks at me with a funny smile and reaches out to my hair, taking a leaf out of it before continuing. You must have had fun playing hide-and-seek with our dear student council president. She definitely knew that it would turn out like this. You are on night duty today, so just go take a nap until evening. Wait a minute. You're back right on time, but it's okay. You don't have to do anything until tonight, so just take a nap. So, alright. And please look out for arriving new members of the special department. There are always some arriving in the night, and they are often attacked. Saruki will be ready to assist you all along, so just give a sign if you need help. I understand. See ya. Sweet dreams. After a hearty meal and tucking away my new sweets somewhere where no one will be able to find them, I spend the rest of the day resting in my room. At nightfall, I change into my apparel for combat and turn back my knives to their original sword form. Because I can do that, apparently. When leaving the dorm, I come across a small girl who's about to enter the building, but stops when she catches the sight of me. She stands there frozen, staring at me like she's never seen a human before. I come to a halt too, and I'm about to ask her if she would like something, when a loud voice interrupts me and jolts her out of the trance. Julie, sorry for making you wait. Registration took much longer than expected. A boy runs up to us who resembles the girl standing in front of me immensely. Yeah, they're like twins. He only spares me a glance and takes the little girl's hand gently and leads her away. Aw. Let's go. You must be hungry and tired out by now. The girl called Julie nods and follows the boy, but looks back at me curiously after a few steps and waves goodbye with a soft smile. I wave back without thinking. Well, that already makes 3 new members, and it's only the first day. Usually the total number of new students that own a Shin doesn't even reach 5. I wonder how many more will arrive. The night has so far passed calmly. Not too bad. Not one attack or new member. I stroll the academy grounds aimlessly looking out for any sign, but not one suspicious trace, sound, or movement. Even the normal department students seem to obey the curfew tonight and stay in their dorms. I sit down on one of the benches beside the main building and look up at the starry sky. I could feel relieved that there is not one problem. If only I didn't have this anxious feeling that this is just the calm before the storm. The clock is just about to strike midnight when a chilling cry howls through the night. It's clearly not one of a dog or even a wolf. That's the howl of a demon. A hunter ankaku. That's not good. I take a breath and start to sprint in the direction of the sound. Hunter-type ankakus usually work in packs, and they only make this sound if they manage to trap their prey. I have to hurry or I might not make it. I run at full speed and have already crossed half of the academy grounds when I seem to reach my aim. I slow down and I catch sight of the clearing ahead. I peek out from behind a tree and see a huge pack of ankaku demons that have encircled some people. I need to get to them ASAP. But I can't just attack demons here. That way it would take too much time and they would probably already get hurt by them. I glance up at the tree above me. It's rather tall and has thick branches. This might work. I grab onto one of the lower branches and pull myself up. Then I keep climbing as fast as I can until I almost reach the top of it. Ah! The demons down there are already starting to attack them. They've got a hold of the clothes of one of the girls and are trying to separate her from the others. A boy is trying to keep the creatures away, but with little to no success. I push myself up to stand on the branch and unsheath my double swords. For a few seconds I speculated about the distance, then I take a step back, raise one of my swords, and with a step forward I throw it with all the power I can muster up. It sinks into the ground just by the side of the demon that is trying to drag the girl away. Both the demons and humans freeze at the sudden impact. Without any further delay, I kick myself away from the branch and into the air over the clearing. Landing with my foot on the hilt of my sword, I make a backflip and cut down the demons close by. Boy, that looks really cool. The other demons back away slightly. The little group stares at me, shocked. All of them, at least slightly injured and with obvious fear in their eyes. Who the heck is this girl? Maybe one of those kids here who are like us. Yeah. Maybe. But she's definitely an idiot. Jumping in the middle of these monsters all alone. She can't be thinking she can fight them alone. Hearing that, the others anxiously shift. Maybe we should retreat for now. Yeah, let's get out of here. It's probably best to retreat. I'm able to defeat all these demons, but the main purpose is to get the group out of danger as soon as possible. Though it might be a bit dangerous with these Ankakus trailing us. Can you all run? Huh? Well, Reimei wouldn't be able to keep up, but I can carry her. The taller guy answers while glancing at the smallest child among them. I nod as a way to ask him to do that. Get ready. When I make way, run with all you have. Leave the fight to me. I understand. Huh? But how will you be able... Just do as I tell. What? I pulled the sword tucked in the soil and raised it above my head. I can feel how the so familiar power floods into my arm and the blade. Taking a deep breath, I step forward and swish my sword. First sigil, luminous stroke. The sword shines brightly, and with the strike forward, I set off a large, illuminating slash which smashes the demons in the soil it's aimed at. The little group escapes through the cleared path, and I follow them closely, cutting down any of the demons that try to chase us. Dorm fields are only a bit from here. I should make a sign to Tsurugi. While I keep running and trying to keep an eye out for any danger, I touch the green translucent crystal fixed on my kimono belt. I received this back when I joined the Special Department as a means for requesting help in such cases. Tapping on it a few times, I send the sign for Tsurugi to come lend me a hand. I'm only distracted with this for a few moments, but it's enough time for our misfortune to come into play. Ah! Nova! When looking up, I realize the tallest guy of the group is lying on the ground with the nasty-looking scratches on his right shoulder, the blonde little girl quivering in his arms. A group of 300 Ankakus stand around them. The claws of the largest of them has blood dripping off of it. Reimei, Nova! The blonde guy foolishly tries to run up to them, but I grab the back of his shirt and tug him back, ignoring his cursing completely. In the corner of my eyes, I see that the biggest demon raises its claws again. Keep close, but out of the fight. I toss the blonde boy to the girl beside me, who nods and takes the boy by the arm to show me that she will not let him do anything stupid. Leaping in between the demons, I strike the one dripping of blood. It collapses under my sword, but I have no time to breathe as the other two attack me right away. After a minute of scuffle, I knock one of them out by tossing it into a tree trunk and stab the other. I rapidly get on my knees to look at the guy lying only a meter away from me. Will he be alright? I gently examine his injury, then nod to her. Yes, but we need to get him to a safe place quickly. There's more coming! What? But I didn't have time to ask, as a demon arrives just after them and doesn't dawdle in attacking. Raising my sword, I would stop its attack and push the creature backwards, and cut it down along with the ones arriving after. But the demons keep gathering together in the little square. One attack comes after another. I'm about to strike again when the field around us suddenly starts shining in a bright gold color, and the demons freeze right in the middle of the action. A relieved sigh escapes me at this sight, and I sheath my sword. Thanks, Tsurugi. I call out to the guy entering the square in that moment, holding out an arm engulfed by the same gold light. Oh, with pleasure. Sorry for being late, but I took the time to put up some traps on the way here to secure an escape route. Tsurugi comes up to us and kneels down beside Nova. He seems to have lost consciousness. Let's get back to the dorm. Everything is ready to treat injuries. Excuse me, but shouldn't something be done with these creatures? Yeah, I wouldn't want them attacking us again. Oh, no need to worry about that. What? Why? Let's leave explanations for later. For now, lend me a hand in carrying the big guy. Oh, alright. While Tsurugi and the blonde guy struggle with lifting up the guy called Nova, I step to the little girl still shaking beside him. Taking hold of her waist, I pick her up gently. She seems surprised for a second, then wraps her arms around my neck. Waving to the other girl, I take the lead as the others follow behind. We arrive back at the gates of the Crystal Rose Fields without any further problem, probably thanks to the trap Tsurugi has set up. While the guys take a break from transporting Nova, I undo the magical lock on the gate and spread its wings till everyone enters. However, when I'm about to set foot in too, another demon cry rings through the night. The little girl I'm holding up tightens her arms around me. I don't think I have time to return to the dorm with them. The way from here is completely safe anyway, but there might be others in danger. Tsurugi, I'm only coming this far. After informing him, I turn to the girl with purple hair, and hand the little girl to her. It's safe from here, so you'll be able to do without me. Okay, call me if there's any problem and keep safe. With a nod, I dash off to look through the fields. As the sound of another demonic howl disturbs the silence of the night, I turn in its direction and rush at full speed. I come near the lake located in the academy grounds and can already feel its refreshing scent, but in the forest just beside it, I'm stopped in my tracks. The scene before my eyes takes my breath away. An even bigger group of Ankakus than what I met tonight lies on the ground of a little clearing, defeated. The marks on the ground and on the trees, probably from the one who fought them. I can't recall ever having seen something like them yet. They somehow fill me with fear. I shake my head in an attempt to get rid of this anxious feeling. No, I don't have time to be confused or shaken. I may get attacked any moment. I tear my eyes away from the annihilated demons just to sense the presence of someone nearby. The sound of breathing, the scent of someone's body, and the slight rustling sounds caused by a little movement. These signs can be easily overlooked, but years of experience taught me to listen to one's instinct. Of course. The one who did this is still near. And though there is a chance that it's another new member arriving, it's more probable that that's not the case. Taking out my swords, I steel myself for defense as I approach the bushes where I just saw the movement. The second I get there, the bushes start to rustle loudly, and I seem to catch a glimpse of the shadow of a human. Can it be? They're trying to escape! I follow the fleeing person through the wilderness. When I finally manage to grab hold of them, I'm taken aback by the sensation of it. Although I can't see clearly, I am able to tell from the touch of it that I got a hold of something furry and living. The next moment, the person I chased grabs me by the hand and pulls with such force I have no chance to resist. Tumbling forward, I fall in a bush covered with flowers, and by the time I look up, there is no trace of the one I pursued. I slump back in the bush and take a deep breath. This is astoundingly soft and comfy. Was that a Shin user? But it had fur, or at least a furry part, from what I can tell by its position. Probably a tail. Well, it wouldn't be the strangest thing I've seen on a Shin user before, but I mean, it's more common for demons and beasts. And it's true that some of those beings can take humanoid form too, but then again, that would actually be the worst case scenario. Demons and beasts with a humanoid shape are of high rank. If such a being roams the grounds of the academy, that's bad news. After the mysterious chase in the forest, I didn't have much time to rest as demons kept on rampaging all around the academy fields. Fortunately, there were no more people arriving throughout the rest of the night, so I could concentrate on defeating the demons. But by the crack of dawn, I'm already so tired, I can barely find my way back to the dorm. Finally, the sun is up. About half of the demon species only move around in the dark, so daytime means less frequent attacks. To handle those is a piece of cake for Rosaline and Tsurugi. Time to sleep, I mumble as I stumble into my room and fall on my back, immediately falling into a dead sleep. I wake from this sound sleep at lunchtime and realize right away that I stayed in my fighting clothes. After a refreshing shower and getting a change of clothes, I head to the diner where Rosaline and Tsurugi are waiting for me with a warm lunch. That was very nice of them. Morning. Hope you had sweet dreams. My only answer is a long yawn as I sit down beside them. It takes me no time to engorge half of the sweets on the table, and as the sugar gets in my blood, I'm starting to finally feel alive. Right away, I realize that there is a leaden silence in the whole dorm. No footsteps, no chatting, no sound except for us. Even though a bunch of students arrived yesterday. What are all the new guys doing? Most of them are still asleep. Besides Victoria and the group you found, 5 more arrived. Wow, 5 more? But it turned out they were all dead tired from getting attacked or having other troubles. Only the scare girl with the guns is up, but she decided to look around the dorm grounds so that she won't disturb their rest. Sounds so funny how you call her scary even in that context, Tsurugi. She is scary. Thoughtful. But scary. What about the ones I have brought? They're alright. The oldest, Nova's injury, was a bit a bit nasty, but with a little fairy medicament, he will be healthy again in no time. That's a relief. But I think you got a fan. What? The small girl Reimei said that you were really cool and she can't wait to see you again. I don't really know how I feel about that. The other ones who arrived, when did they come? The others? 3 of them back in the morning and a brother and a sister in the afternoon. Why? I ran into someone during the night near the lake, but they escaped without me even being able to see their face. I thought it was another new member. No, I more like hoped for it. What do you mean? I have a suspicion that it was a demon or beast with a human shape. I see. That would very well mean a great problem. Well, at least you got away uninjured. On another note, I met another of those people. Again? Yes, I found her near the Rose Gate yesterday. The usual circumstances are as always. Only this time, one of the normal students. She looked like she was unconscious, but still walked around, and it seemed like she was trying to get in the Crystal Rose grounds. Since a few months ago, we have witnessed several similar cases. Normal people acting strange as if walking unconsciously, and they usually try to get in the fields of Crystal Rose, which is only allowed for members of the special department. They don't react for either calling or shaking them. Fortunately, we came to realize that Rosaline's Shin, which neutralizes most supernatural abilities and magic spells, can wake these people. But these incidents keep reoccurring, and we simply can't find a clue as to why. The only step we took forward in solving this mystery is the conclusion that they are probably controlled by someone, based on the fact that Rosaline's Shin works on them. Well, for now we can't do much, but to keep an eye out. Today we'll strengthen the barriers around the academy and the dorms. There are more new members to come today, so we need to prevent any more serious demon intrusions or the possibility of giving the advantage to this controlling individual. Though it may put a rather heavy strain on me and the dorm guardian. I nod together with Tsurugi, although neither of us is keen on the consequences of these plans. Okay, that's enough discussion for now. Half the day has already passed, and we still need to get many things done. Tsurugi, please get ready. Tonight you will be on duty. Cheryl, would you please help out at the student count? No way. If that's your wish. But please at least bring me the documents needed for finishing up the registration of the new students. I sigh even at the thought of it. But if Rosaline says it's like that, then she won't accept no for an answer. I understand. Alright then, I wish good luck to everyone. Yeah, good luck, Cheryl. Let's just hope you won't make Hiryu too grumpy. These guys are almost as tiring as that stern, duty-loving Hiryu. This time around, I decided to skip helping out at the student council by taking a nap on a tree just beside the main building of the academy. Yeah. Hopefully, Hiryu won't expect to find me so close. Or Moreover, I will be able to see if he leaves and can get the documents while he's away. While waiting for his leave, the warm sunlight and the peaceful surroundings make me feel drowsy, and I slowly fall into a deep slumber. Why? Why did such a thing have to happen? This child shouldn't have been born. We can't let anyone meet her. Hmm? Hey, have you heard? About the young lady? Yeah. Such a disaster. I jerk awake from my depressing nightmares. These dreams. I rub my temples to dispel the feelings left behind by the nightmares and recover myself. After that, I just keep looking up at the sky, observing the various shapes of clouds. The sound of someone sitting on a bench under the tree I'm resting on draws my attention away from the beautiful spring skies. I must be a new student. Out of curiosity, I peek out of the leaves to see the person, though I'm not in the mood to deal with anyone right now, really. Surprisingly, my eyes lock with another person's golden eyes looking just in my direction. Oh look, we have the same eyes. Whoops, they were looking upward. A pair of golden eyes belonging to a boy with gray hair, who only seems to have one little bag with him. His dark ringed eyes show cold steeliness at first, but they are filled with surprise in a few seconds. He opens his lips as if he wants to say something, but then closes them again. For a minute, he averts his eyes and ponders what to do. Hi. He says it a bit uncertain, rubbing the back of his head. Hello. I should at least ask if he needs help. That's the least I could do after ditching my duties for the day. Besides, he seems lost. You're one of the new students, aren't you? Do you need help with finding your dorm, perhaps? Yes, that would be great. I can't seem to find my way around here. It's so big. Which dorm? I think it's called something Rose. Crystal Rose? Then you'll be part of the special department, right? Yes, that's it. That's it. That's the one. So he is another new student who owns a Shin. We should probably show him the way. We don't want to get attacked. I will show you there. I answer while pushing myself up and jumping off of the tree. I land just beside the boy who stands up in the meantime. His gaze shows the same coldness that I got a glimpse of before. But as he looks at me now closer, the look in his eyes changes to that of a gentle one, and even a faint smile flickers across his face. Thank you, that's really nice of you. I'm Cheryl Shiganori. Nice to meet you, Cheryl. My name is Sin Night Tray. Thank you for your help. That's an odd last name, but whatever. I turn to leave when my eyes wander on the main building. It's getting late. I should probably also take the documents with me. Is it alright if we take a little detour? I've got something to do in the school building here. Sin glances over where I'm pointing to. I can see some hesitation flicker through his expression, but he agrees with a nod in the end. I nod too and start off towards the entrance. While walking in the corridors, I glance over my shoulder back at Sin, who doesn't seem too comfortable. He fidgets with his bag and looks around distressed, as if he is only waiting to get out of here. Our eyes lock once again, but neither of us look aside. Rather, Sin uses this to start a conversation. This place is rather extravagant, isn't it? Really? I really never found it like that. I think it's quite calming, actually. Though it's true the school counts as a well-known elite academy. An elite academy? Well, he seems even more uneasy now. We arrive at the door of the student council office, where I take my time to enter, first knocking, and when no sound can be heard from inside, I open the door and step in carefully. Meanwhile, Sin follows my actions with attention, confused as to why I'm acting suddenly so strange. Despite being confused, he doesn't question me or looks at me annoyed, only follows me in silence. After flicking through a few documents on the tables, I manage to find the ones I need in one of the boxes. I snatch it and turn to Sin and tell him we can leave now. But along the way, my eyes drift to the little fridge by the side of the room. My gaze returns to it instantly, and I spring to it almost instinctively. I flung it open to check what is in it and chance upon a bit of strawberry ice cream in the freezer. Without hesitation, I take it out and after unwrapping, plop it in my mouth. At this sight, Shin brings his hand to his mouth as a mean to stop himself from chuckling out loud. Unaffected, I get a hold of his wrist and pull him after me. I'm about to open the door when the sound of a familiar, hurried footsteps comes echoing in the corridor. I gulp the ice cream, and the ice cream falls out of my mouth. I will be killed if he finds me here. I cast my eyes around the room frantically to find a way to escape. The window. Ah, the window in the tree. This seems strange, but I rush to the window and open it wide. Soft spring breeze starts drifting in and makes the curtains bill lightly as I turn on my heels towards Shin. Can you climb trees? Yeah? Good, then follow me. I get on the berm of the window and leap forward, catching the closest branch with one hand while having the box of documents in the other. Bouncing to the lower boughs, I reach the ground in a few seconds and look up, waiting for Shin to follow, which he does flawlessly, without worrying for even a moment. He is athletic. I grab his arm at the moment he lands and drag him after me as I speed off past the gates in the direction of our dorm. I only slow down when we arrive to the gateway of Crystal Rose Fields. Shin stands beside me, a bit overwhelmed by the sight. No wonder, this is the entry of the Crystal Rose Fields, which are actually the domain of fairies. In these areas, nature is in full bloom and the buildings are all taken care of by a fairy guardian. And this magnificence already shows here at the entrance. These are the rose gates, the entrance to the fields of the special department. They're usually locked and only members can enter, but this time around it should be open because of the arriving new ones. Amazing, it's even more extravagant than the building we were in, but it somehow makes me feel calm. Well, it is home to the fairies after all. What? Never mind. Rosaline will explain everything to them soon anyway. In the act of pushing one of the wings of the gate, I remember my conversation with Lila the day before. You shouldn't visit the new dorm president in the Black Cat dorm. He is really strange. Like, really strange. Checking the time on my cell phone, I make sure that I still have enough time. Shin, could you take this with you? Sure. Thanks. In the dorm, find Rosaline. She will help you with moving in. See ya. Naturally, you helped me a lot too. See you in school. I arrived at the doorway of the Black Cat dorm with hasty steps. There's a little cat. That's cute. I stopped myself from bursting in and opened the door rather carefully, you know. The doors, windows, and all faculties here are a bit odd and run down, so one should pay close attention if they want to avoid breaking anything. In the dorm, it's dead silent, but it is full of color, so that's nice. And I don't run into anyone as I cross the corridor searching for the new dorm president. Black Cat has always been the least inhabited dorm, but this year it's even worse. However, considering the rumors circulating about it, it's not shocking. Not many students want to spend their nights in a blood-curdling, haunted house inhabited by a terrifying monster. As I wander around the deserted buildings, the familiar sweet fragrance, I'm Elmer Fudd apparently, of chocolate fills the corridors. So there is someone in the dorm. Curiously, I follow my favorite scent toward a half-open door. I peek in and see that it's one of the rooms for the residents, not the kitchen or a common room. This is a private room, so maybe I should turn back, but it's chocolate, so no. I sneak in, looking high and low in the room, searching for the origin of the chocolate. The place seems well lived in, despite all the rumors. So not everyone gets frightened away from living here. On the coffee table near the window, I spot a couple of mugs with steam rising from them. I approach the table and crouch down beside to take a sniff of it. Hot cocoa. And it seems delicious. As if under spell, I lift one of the cups up. When the door behind me slowly opens, I leap out the window at lightning speed, the mug still in hand. Whew. Outside, I flatten myself against the wall under the window. Only then do I look down at the mug full of hot cocoa that I've accidentally brought with me. Well, I guess I stole it. But I actually don't really feel guilty. How could I resist? Oh, that's the safe thing. My favorite sweet that I can never get enough of. I left it close to my face to sniff it. then bring it to my lips. Oh my. You know, that can be far more delicious. Ah! I peer up and see a silver-haired guy beaming down at me with a vibrant smile. Not even a bit angry or annoyed. Far from it. He seems happy to see me there, with the sullen mug in my hands. He extends his hand, asking me to return it for a minute. Reluctantly, I give it back, and he disappears from the window. I hear him making clattering noises inside. I peek in the room and see him adding something white in the dark brown liquid, then placing it on the side of the coffee table, which is closest to me. A marshmallow, perhaps. With an inviting glance towards me, he starts taking little sips from the other mug of steaming drink. For a few minutes, I can only eye him and the appetizing delicacy from outside. I usually keep my distance from people at first, even if they offer me something I like. Moreover, he seems somehow strange. At that word, an idea forms in my mind. Are you the new president here? Yes, that would be me. My name is Osamu Ukami. I'm happy to finally be able to talk to you. Huh? Who did that damn director send here this time? I know if he was sent by him, we don't need to worry, but... Do you know me? Have we met before? Kind of. What kind of an answer is that? Kind of. Osamu keeps drinking with a smile on his face. He glances at me from time to time, not bothering to explain his answer or ask me to come in the jerk. I mean, I did break in, so I guess that's fine. He seems perfectly content with this situation. In the end, I hop in the room, and after snatching the mug on the table, I sit up next to the wall, far away from him. I take a great gulp from the drink and realize Osamu has put some marshmallow and whipped cream in it. Nice. It really is far more delicious. I'm happy you like it. My only reaction is to stare at him in silence. This appears to not bother him either, and he only keeps smiling at me. I don't like this. I feel like he can see right through me while I have no idea what is going on in his head. I swallow the cocoa down in a few gulps, and after putting down the mug, I burst out of the room. Bye. I still manage to catch another glance of his smile as he says goodbye, but for a brief moment, that smile seems somehow sad. Well, yeah, no one wants to talk to him. Poor guy, he's all lonely. Everyone runs away because they're scared or intimidated. Feel bad for the guy, you know? I leave the building and head back to my own dorm. Ah, welcome back, Cheryl. You're already leaving for night duty? Yep, I decided to take some precautions and set up several light traps around the academy, so I will need this extra time before the dark. Be careful and call me if you need help. Tsurugi walks away with a cheerful smile. I imagine his joy about having night duty is connected to the increasing number of girls here. I decide to have dinner and then return in early so that I won't be tired tomorrow, even if I need to give a helping hand to Tsurugi during the night ahead. Oh, Cheryl, you just arrived in time for the first Crystal Rose Assembly. Oh. So that's today. I walk up to Rosaline to join her in explaining everything to the new members of the special department. Then Rosaline turns back to all the people seated around the table. Well, everyone, let me introduce to you to Cheryl Shigenori. She's the Vice President of Crystal Rose, so please count on her anytime you need help. The Vice President? Serious? What? No wonder she's so strong. Hey, you're disturbing, aren't... Ah, it's you! The girl bumped into me yesterday and left right after, even though you could have helped us find this place. Wait, that was you? After that, we were lost for 2 more hours. Well, heck, it wasn't such a big deal. Have we met before? Huh? I averted my eyes as the red-haired guy is tugged to sit down by his friends, and my gaze drifts on another similar figure sitting in the room. You're a member of the special department too? That means you have an ability as well. If she does have one, believe me, it's an amazing sight when she fights. Hey, finish with the chit-chat already. The president was just about to explain some important things. Relax, little one. There's no harm in a little chatter now and then. That's true, but this is not the time for them. Many of the people here are still exhausted or even injured, so... But there's no better medicine. That will be enough. So everyone, please shut up. The noise in the room ceases immediately at Rosalie's imperious voice. I feel a chill running down my back at hearing this tone of hers. For a moment everyone stays frozen, then gets back in their seats immediately. Now that I look around carefully, I can see that the number of new members is almost double of what I knew about. Damn, that's a lot of people. Now let me continue. I've already explained how our world is inhabited by far more types of beings than most humans know of. Most of you have already met demons on the way here, but besides them, there are also fairies and beasts, for example. And next, let's talk about the reason why you are all here now. Each of you owns a sort of special ability. We call this power Shin, and well, to tell you the truth, our information about it is rather vague. We barely have anything that we are sure of regarding this power. What, but why? Because it has only appeared in the past decades, and all of the Shins we have met so far differ tremendously. We are having a rather hard time at drawing any certain conclusions. But there are some things that we can be sure of. Yes, there are. One of them is that the ones who possess a Shin have all been born in the past 20 years. I peeked at Rosaline, who was keeping quiet for a bit before adding the other fact. The other one is a side effect that without a doubt all of you have experienced some form, which is misfortune. Misfortune? Like what? Like always losing your things? It can almost cause anything, from minor unluckiness such as losing things to actual tragedies, such as becoming an orphan. To boost this misfortune also encompasses drawing in the attacks of demons, beasts, and other harmful beings. That means most of the people anxiously shift in their seats, look down, or have sadness-filled eyes. And that sounds a bit exaggerated to me, causing tragical fates, deaths, and such. I like her artwork, she's really cool. Believe me, it's not... yeah. Far from it. But if it's like that, then it pretty much seems that we are sentenced to suffer. Yes, it does seem like that. But that's the reason we're all gathered here, isn't it? Here, the founders of the special department managed to put up a spell called Fairy Shelter that decreases the effects of this misfortune close to half. In addition, the dorm and the whole academy is protected by barriers that make it harder for most of the harmful creatures to enter. So we can calmly say that inside here you can live more safely than ever before. And during the days you spend here, you will be trained and taught how to use and fight with a Shin, so that you'll have the power to take a stand in what is ahead of you. The expressions of the people around the room softened slightly at Rosaline's encouragement. Well, life here is not a piece of cake either, but this place gives us hope. Alright, I will give my all to become just like Cheryl. That's the spirit, Reimei. What? Why do you want to be like her? Also, as you probably know, while you live here, you will also be a student in the academy and take part in classes, events, and such things. Like school. Though you will have different schedules and different rules to obey than the normal students. Lastly, I hope this is obvious, but not one normal human can come to know about this true nature of Crystal Rose, so you will have to do your training and CR activities in secret. CR activities? Ah, CR would be the abbreviation of Crystal Rose. I suggest you remember that because most call us that. And our activities include many things like taking care of harmful demons and helping out other Shin bearers. With that, I think I have explained everything you need to know. Is there anything that I forgot about, Cheryl? Yes, a bunch. For example, a lot. New members are strictly prohibited from leaving school grounds. What? No way. Seriously? You kidding? You expect us all to stay here all the time? Well, until you get permission from one of us. Well, the three guys groaned as if in pain. The others took it rather calmly. It actually seems rather reasonable to me. Huh? Which part? 3 blockheads. Hey! That's not nice. But true, it hasn't been so long that they explained how we draw on misfortune attacks that one could forget it. And with so many Shin users here, just imagine how many demons are waiting outside the walls of the school. That's for sure. About the rose gates. Turning on my heel, I walk to the counter where there's a box filled with keys that end in a flower form. I bring the box to the table where everyone takes one out. Oh yes, I almost forgot that. In the fields of our dorm, only members are allowed, so the entrance to the rose gates is usually locked. And that would be the key which you can open it with. Do not lose this key. It has the do not copy. She almost forgot to tell us such an important thing. Such an important thing. About members who are away. Besides the people here, there are 3 more members who are away at the moment. Where are they? On missions. Missions? Sounds cool. Cool, more like hard. And what is their mission? Mostly searching for all other Shin users. Ah, then I think we met one of them. Yes, we were told to come here by someone who said he was also a student here. Do they leave the country too when on a mission? Rosalind and I peeked at each other. Could that mean? Only the strongest ones, and out of those 3, only one is allowed to. The tall guy with blonde hair and piercings. That's right. Good to know he's still alive. I turned to Shin to ask him about the details of their meeting, but the words get stuck in my throat at Shin's cold scowl at Rosalind. Interesting. Rui. You forgot to tell them about Rui. Rui, that's a cute name. I know, right? That's what I thought. You find every girl name cute. Your name is just girl. You're not cute at all. And who is this Rui? I'm the house fairy. Oh my. Rui appears out of nowhere behind Laggy, floating in the air with her head downwards. Ah! Laggy jolts hard, screams, and then leaps into the other corner of the room. God, don't appear so suddenly behind someone's back. Now, calm down, Laggy. Really, how can you get so scared of such a cutie pie? I'm not scared. Just hate surprises, that's all. First time I've seen someone react like that. While they keep bantering, it really floats to me. Cheryl, am I scary? No, you're adorable. Does she really need to ask that? About the recent problems we've been having. They should know about them. Ah, yes. Now that all the students are back, we can expect more of these kinds of incidents to happen. Incidents? That sounds a bit worrying. It does. There has been several occasions in the past months when we found normal people wandering close to our fields. They were in a kind of unconscious state and later didn't remember what happened. We are in the middle of investigating these cases, but so far the only conclusion we could draw is that they are probably controlled by someone. Controlled, but that means someone is trying to get inside here. And they're probably up to no good. Their intention is dubious. It's true they tried to get in, but not one person has been hurt so far, so we can't be sure they mean any harm. Moreover, we've already found a way to deactivate this control. Rosalina stepped beside me and got a hold of my arm and showed the others the gloves I was wearing. In your rooms, you will find a pair of gloves beside your school uniform. These gloves store part of my Shin, which is neutralization. It makes others' powers become inactive, and using these garments, I'm able to lend it to you. If you were to meet a person who is controlled, touch them with one of these and it should work no problem. Neutralization? That means if we were to fight you, we wouldn't be able to use our abilities. Exactly. But that means you can't beat anyone alone. After all, that's a protective ability. Well, we will see about that soon. They are making the exact same mistake as all who stand up against Rosaline. Her ability may be mainly defensive, but in a fight, a lot of it depends on how one uses their powers. If you can't use your powers, then, well... And Rosaline is an expert in that. And that's it. I think that's everything. Is it just me, or does President Rosaline really seem rather forgetful? Don't tell her that. Did she overhear? She missed out about half the things, and most of them is significant information. Well, everyone has their faults. I can hear the whispering of the two girls, and it seems they misunderstood the situation. Rosaline has probably the best memory in the whole world. There's no way she would forget about anything. The problem is with her sense of humor. Oh boy. Is it like mine? Horrible. And from the way she smiles, I'm pretty sure there's still something that was left unsaid. As I rack my brain for missing info, Rosaline decides to finish up. Well, that would be all for today. Please have a square meal and a good night of sleep, because tomorrow we will have an early morning and a busy day. At 8 o'clock, Cheryl and Tsurugi will take you to the main building for the opening ceremony, and after that, I and Rui will take the measurements for your fighting clothes. Fighting clothes? We're getting another uniform? No, fighting clothes will be adjusted to each person according to their Shin and physical abilities. Cool, I can't wait to see what mine will look like. As the mood in the diner turns rather cheerful, Rui, with the help of some boys, sets the table and brings out the many different dishes. Most of the group seems to get along rather well, although some boys don't cease to bicker. One of them is the redhead, who seems to be holding a grudge against me now. Meanwhile, Shin keeps out of the conversation, and when someone talks to him, he answers curtly in a cold manner. Let's look at Shin, I guess. I eye the boy with curiosity, and soon he catches me staring at him. But even when he turns to me, I keep looking in silence. Unbothered, he cracks a gentle smile at me. Why is he acting so different towards me? Cheryl, say, how long have you stayed here? About 3 years? That's long. So you've been here since you were 9 or 10? Wait, we're only like 12. Cheryl's turning 16 this year. Ah, I totally thought you were younger. You are rather small, but that means we're the same age. I'm completely normal size. You are the overgrown one. I turn away, not caring, even when I hear him talking back, and I see Shin's surprised reaction. I thought you were younger too. So you're as old as me. Yo. And Cheryl, do you go on missions too? After all, you're probably one of the strongest ones here. From time to time. Oh, that reminds me. Tomorrow you've got a mission, Cheryl. There's been some ruckus in a part of town too yesterday, and I would like you to check the area. Maybe some Shin users got into a fight there while coming here. Understood. Everyone keeps silent and pays close attention to our talk. Only when we finish do they continue their chatter. Now that I think about it, I don't know the name of most people here. Oh, it's true, and Rosaline and Sharon introduced themselves properly to everyone. Let's get it done. I'm Laggy. Nice to meet you, everyone. My name is Victoria Drywall, and I'm Rishu, and this is my adorable little sis Reimei. You didn't let her finish. I'm called Yosei, and happy to meet so many beautiful... Shut it. And this one is called Enju. I'm Kotoyo, and the tall guy beside me is Nova. And although he seems to be huge and intimidating, he's like a bear papa, kind-hearted and loves to take care of others. Oh, so we have a pair of lovebirds. What? No, we aren't. Dane here. Hobby's teasing, and I suggest you don't try to shake hands with me. Why? Try it, maybe you'll know. Probably why he wears gloves. In the end, only Shin and the brother and sister are left, but they don't seem to be in a rush to make their introductions, and they wait until it calms down to do their part. We are Lorioth and Julie Blanchett. I was sure you were sister and brother. You look almost the same. Of course. Huh? Twins. Really? Really? You didn't think they weren't twins? The excited Reimei leans over the table and starts chatting with the quiet girl, and while they start to get acquainted, the others turn to Shin. Shin Nitre. Oh, everyone's all surprised. An awkward silence falls over the room after Shin's curt introduction, and no one seems to bring themselves to break it. In the end, I get enough of it, and pushing back my chair, I get on my feet. Good night. And without further ado, I leave for my room, but I still hear the exclamations of the people I left behind. What is with this girl? I can't get to understand her way of thinking. She kind of pisses me off. I think I'm fond of her, actually. On the morning of the entrance ceremony, I get up first and go to check if everything went all right with Tsurugi's night duty. Rosaline is already up and about, and according to her, there weren't any more problems other than a few stray Anku. The strength and barrier seemed to have done what they were supposed to do. I then take a few pancakes on a plate, go outside the dorm, and sit down there. The forest is calm, and the fragrance of flowers is brought by the light spring breeze. As my gaze drifts to the shadows of the trees from time to time, I catch a glance of a faint globe of light dancing from one tree to another. Fairies. There are several other ones living here beside Rui, who help take care of this place. Hey! At the sound of someone speaking behind me, I turn around. Morning to you two. Oh, look, we got a new outfit. And our hair is done differently. Oh, it looks nice. Then I get back to eating my breakfast, not paying him any more mind. Hey, you're called Cheryl, right? Don't think you should apologize for the other day? You were rather rude, leaving like that. I was in a hurry. You don't seem the least bit sorry. And as vice president, don't you have to help out new students? He talks as if he understands the situation perfectly and knows that my priority should be better than I do. He's obviously not a bad person and seems to be forgetting to think things through. But I won't let him act this way towards me. I turn my head away, ignoring what more he has to say. That seems to make him only angrier. You... Maggie, quit that at once. Why do you always do this? It's like you sometimes completely forget to think. What do you mean by that? It was obvious she was in a hurry. If you would pay a little attention to your surroundings, you would have already realized how much trouble Cheryl and the others would have been the past few days. So it's understandable if she hadn't had the time to say anything, much less help us. Now, apologize. He grunts and, for the first time, seems to start thinking about it seriously with furrowed brows. While he is thinking, I finish the last pieces of my meal, get on my feet, and enter the dorm, not waiting for him to finish. Did you seriously leave? Just like that? Yes, I seriously left, just like that. An hour later, the whole of Crystal Rose, except for Rosaline, is standing outside of the main building of the academy waiting for the opening ceremony to start. The gathering students of the normal department pass by us one after the other. None of them miss the opportunity to peek curiously at our group. Some don't even try to contain their excitement and stop near to us, chattering and glancing our direction repeatedly. What? That's Crystal Rose! Their group is as breathtaking as ever. And they have so many new members. There are some real hotties among the CR girls this year, too. I hope some of them will attend classes with us. Why are you two so thrilled? What is CR? Ah, you're new here, so you don't know about them. You know, CR is... Is it just me, or are we really... center of attention? Unmistakably. No way, we're just standing out a bit because of the different uniform. I don't think so, darling. Those girls there have been giggling about which of us they like most for quite a while now, and the other group is arguing whether to try talking with one of us. Well, Crystal Rose is an exclusive class in the school which only a few can enter, and we not only have our own dorm, but also different schedules and uniform. That's why our special class is so well known in the whole academy, because we're different. That sounds troublesome, being always in the center of attention. No, that's not. That's not so bad. It's not this intense usually. It's just rare that there are so many of us. Ah, yeah, and with beauties like myself along with the ladies here, we must be even more eye-catching. That's for sure. Girls were always fawning over you. No doubt they'll be all over you with this added now. Oh, enough of the praises, Anju. Well, good for you that you're used to it. I have no idea how to even react to this kind of attention. Yep, being popular out of nowhere sounds hard. Suddenly the chimes of a bell ring through the air, signaling that the opening ceremony is starting. Don't think it's over. Just act as usual. I cut them off curtly, and with the Tsurugi beside me, start walking off. The open ceremony is going smoothly, though most of the CR members are rather tense with so much attention on them. That's understandable. It'd be like if you suddenly became famous and, you had like media and press all over you. It's like, how do you react? What do you do, I can't see anything. I'm too short. Come here, little one. Laggy lifts the little girl on his shoulders with ease, a warm smile on his face. He seemed rude at first, but he's actually pretty kind-hearted and helpful. Even though he was troubled, now he doesn't even notice that the girls are whispering about how lovely he is. Tsurugi sits down beside me and nods towards the group of girls who can't take their eyes off Laggy. I look at them and turn back to watch the red-haired guy. He is a nice guy. Yeah. Say, Cheryl. I turned to Tsurugi to see a worried expression on his face. You have already talked with the one called Shin, right? That's right. Well, then maybe you'll have more success in talking with him than me. Finishes in a whisper as he takes a worried glance at a corner of the gardens. Shin is there, leaning to one of the trees far away from everyone, and doesn't seem to like having any intention of coming over. At the beginning he stayed with us, but it just probably became too much for him. I tried keeping him company, but he was really cold towards me. I stand up, patting Tsurugi's shoulder as I walk up to the lonely boy. He's rather pale. I mumble in a soft voice and step in front of him, peering into his face. You alright? Huh? Yeah, I'm alright. After his answer, I keep staring at him without uttering another word. I'm just not used to crowds, or this kind of attention, or extravagant places. I don't make an attempt to console him or make conversation. Just step beside him and lean my back on the tree, too. There's no need to worry, so you don't have to stay. I ignore his statement and keep standing there silently. Shin is confused at first, but doesn't insist, and as we stay there in silence, I can feel that he slowly starts to become more relaxed. So you've been here for 3 years now? Yeah. And how'd you live before that? Traveling. Traveling? That must have been dangerous for you. It was. And at the same time, it wasn't. How can that be? He isn't cold towards me and like towards Tsurugi. It's possible, just... Miss Tara. Hey children, what are you doing here away from everyone else? Ah, Miss Tara, good morning. Morning, and I hope you had a great vacation, Cheryl. And who is this beside you? Shin Nitre, one of our new members. Ah, I see. Nice to meet you, Shin. I'm Tara, one of the teachers here. I will make sure you will enjoy my classes. The warm smile disappears from Shin's face in a second, and is replaced with a cold glare. Shin only replies Miss Tara's greetings after a long, awkward silence. After that, he grumbles something about returning to the dorm, and then he leaves. Did I perhaps disturb you or something? No. Seeing as I don't know any more than her, Miss Tara excuses herself, saying she has to get back to work. I stride back to Tsurugi and sit down beside him. Shin. He's kind with me, but cold when others appear, even though he doesn't know either me nor them. I sit there deep in thought till the end of the ceremony, when Tsurugi calls out to the CR members, beckoning them to follow us back to the dorm. I stand up and turn ready to leave with them, but then feel someone grabbing the collar of my shirt before pulling me backwards. Like hell you are leaving. Aw, it's Hiryu! Oh boy. She's like, no. I forgot about him. Hiryu starts dragging me back with a strong hold on my clothes. The students of the normal department look on from afar, giggling, laughing, or just simply talking about how this year is starting with our usual fight, too. What's going on? That guy's taking Cheryl away. What? Ah, here you. And you are taking Cheryl? Could you please leave her? No. But She has skipped 2 days of helping out. He is furious. This time I won't be able to get away. Tsurugi seems to have realized that too, and he is the last person who would go against Hiryu. Good luck, Tsurugi. You too. You're letting him take her away? Stay away! Huh? What's going on? After being dragged to the student council, I'm seated at a table packed with piles of paper. They saved the work that I skipped to do before for me. I get started on looking through and sorting the documents, but even as hours pass, the piles do not become any less horrific. After 4 hours of this monotonous work, not even having the bundles of paper, I reach my limit and drop my head on the desk. I've had enough paperwork for a lifetime. With a sigh, I tilt my head to see Hiryu sitting beside me, a look of intense concentration on his face. And he's been working ever since we arrived and doesn't seem the least bit beat. My eyes follow his every move as he keeps on finishing one document after the other. As he brings a paper close to his face, I catch a glance of his freshly bandaged elbow. Without much thinking, I reach out and gently poke on the injured arm. Again. Hiryu only peeks at me from the corner of his eyes, shrugging his shoulders. That's the usual. It'll heal in no time. I only take my eyes off him when I hear the door opening. Oh god, it's him. A familiar figure steps in, drawing my attention to him. His gaze sweeps through the room, and when it spots me, a smile spreads over his face. It's a nice pack of documents you got there. Osamu? At the mention of that name, Hiryu beside me finally looks up from the papers. The new president of the Black Cat dorm. Ah, yeah, that would be me. I heard you've been searching for me. Hiryu eyes him coldly, then stands up and introduces himself with the greatest scowl that could appear on one's face. Ah, so I wasn't the only one upsetting him these days. Osamu must have arrived quite a while. Okay, the T in it's not quiet, it's quite. T-E, not E-T. Phone home. Osamu must have arrived quite a while ago, and yet they only meet now. Hiryu walks around the office with Osamu at his side, gathering up a load of documents and a long list to do for the new dorm president. And though Hiryu doesn't cease his frigid behavior towards him, Osamu acts totally unfazed by it. I'm somehow unable to take my eyes off the pair, but that doesn't go unnoticed. Cheryl, work. No way, it's just far more interesting than doing paperwork. Finally, we get all the registration documents here. Maybe we can finish with all the paperwork tomorrow. Miss Tyra, who was the advisor of the student council, walks in and puts 3 more boxes of papers on the table, which finally manages to draw my attention away from the duo. Ah, Cheryl, you are here? Did you get caught? Maybe. You really shouldn't make Hiryu run around for you next time. Knowing her, it would take 1,000 years before she takes these duties of hers seriously. Well, no one likes paperwork. Miss Tyra, I need your help. Osamu Ukami has finally decided to come. We should do all the work now that he is here. Ah, the rumored ghost boy. Where is he? Miss Tyra looks around confused, and we follow her gaze only to realize the 3 of us are the only ones in the room. Where'd he go? Some of the rumor is true. He can disappear into thin air. Hiryu and Miss Tyra look around. After ascertaining that the previously gathered documents were taken along, they take a look outside in the corridor. Now is my chance. I hastily stand up and run to the window and open it with a creak. The next minute, I'm already climbing down the tree in the backyard. Most of my sight still covered by the foliage. Not foliage. Thank you, Lisa. I push myself down from one of the relatively lower branches. But instead of the ground, I land in a pair of strong arms. Ah! What's he doing here? I think you should hurry, if you want to get away. He says that with a gentle smile, but he doesn't seem to be planning on putting me down. I push myself out of his arms forcefully and glare at him, but when the window above creaks, I decide to rather listen to his warning. Man, I don't like that guy. He's the type to hide his feelings and thoughts with a smile, wearing an innocent look even in such a suspicious situation. It feels like we acted exactly according to what he expected. Weird. I arrive back at the dorm with my head filled with thoughts of that strange guy. In the entrance, I stand still for a moment and shake my head a few times. I will simply avoid him from now on. There are more important things to deal with now. While entering the dorm, I take a peek at the clock on my phone. I should soon leave for my mission. After a light meal and getting ready in the room, I head out again. On the way to the entrance, I pass by some of our new members. You're already leaving, Cheryl? Good luck on the mission. Waggy walks beside them, looking in my direction. As I exit the building, I don't realize that he stops in his tracks, wanting to say something. Cheryl, wait! I put to a stop by one of Waggy's friends, who runs up to me while shouting. Sorry for stopping you, but I want to ask you to please overlook the way Waggy acted before. He usually acts before thinking, and is really hot-headed. But he is also very tired. Kind and helpful and warm-hearted. I realized that, and from the way he looked at me just now, I could tell he thought it properly through later. My remarks catch Enju by surprise. We didn't expect you to hear that. You were eavesdropping? No, just... Yosei is interrupted by Laggy, who steps closer to me, scratching his head. Sorry. I was wrong. I misjudged you. I acknowledged his apology with a silent nod, then turn around ready to leave. I'm off. Take care. As Rosaline instructed me previously, I head out into town as the last rays of the setting sun fade. I spend hours in the quiet eastern area searching for traces of the supposed fight, but I only managed to find a few scratches on a wall that seemed rather freshly made. So there was a fight here. But with this little lead, I cannot tell exactly what happened, or if there were any Shin bearers involved. And even if they were involved and are still alive, they're probably hiding somewhere. Endlessly searching like this anymore would be pointless, especially in the current circumstances. I'll report to Rosaline and we'll keep a close watch over the nights ahead, so we can act as soon as something happens in town. On the way back nearing the school grounds, I realize there's someone standing in front of the closed entrance gates. Let's approach this person. I approach the person standing before the gates, but even when I'm standing only a few meters away, he doesn't realize I'm there. The jet black-haired boy just keeps looking in the direction of the academy fields in complete silence. He has an upset look on his face. From time to time, he scratches or tilts his head like he has no idea what to do. Would you like to go inside? I utter the words while taking a step towards him. Even though he clearly didn't sense my presence, he doesn't even gasp or show any sign of surprise. He slowly turns my way, revealing his different colored eyes, which almost seem to sparkle in the moonlight. A pair of mesmerizing deep green and dark purple orbs focus on me. Yeah, I guess. Are you a new student in the normal department? Normal department? Probably. He seems confused and a bit dazed. I should take him to the student council. Maybe Hiri was still there. I step to the gates and unlock them. Come with me. Cheryl, what are you doing here? You're not coming to do your work, I know that. As he approaches us, Hiri glances at the boy standing beside me. Who is this? Waiting for the boy to answer Hiri's questions, I glance at him, but he only looks back at him. Probably a no normal department student. New student in the normal department? No way. Only Crystal Rose members would arrive at this time of day. I don't know about normal department or Crystal Rose, but I would like to be a student here. Oh, actually, not just me. Hiri takes an exhausted sigh. I see. If you have the forms of the parent signature, then I guess you're still in time. The black-haired boy rustles through his pockets and draws out a pair of crumpled documents. His eyes twitch slightly at the sight of the crumpled white sheets before he takes them and turns to enter the building while calling back to the boy. Alright then, let's get the rest of your registration done now, and we'll show you to one of the dorms after that. However, even after Hiryu left, the boy beside me doesn't move to follow him. I glance at him from the corner of my eyes. He's wearing the same dazed, confused expression as before. Can the rest of the registration be done tomorrow too? As far as I know, it can be. Okay, then please tell him I will come tomorrow. Huh? I look at him surprised, or more like at the place he was a second ago, because he is already running in a slow pace back towards the school gates. I catch that Hiryu is already coming back to my direction with a scold on his face. He's left saying he'll come back tomorrow. I see. And with that, he passes by me without ever saying goodbye, probably leaving for his dorm. I'd better avoid meeting him for a few days. He will be in an awful mood. After both of the guys leave, I return to the Crystal Rose dorm where I start searching for Rosaline. But in the diner, I meet some people I didn't expect to still up. Ah, you're back. Shin stands from the chair he was sitting in beside the table with obvious relief showing on his face. In the chair next to him, Julie is nodding off, trying to stay awake despite the late hours. When Shin pats her on the shoulder gently, she realizes I am there, and a light smile flickers across her face. Are you alright? They stayed up for this long because they were worried? Aww. Yeah. With heavy steps, Julie's brother trudges in, and with only a sideways glance towards us, he takes his sister's hand. Julie, I've been searching for you. It's late already. Julie silently nods and waves goodbye to us with a sweet smile as she follows her brother back to their dorm. Or their room, I should say. After they leave, I remember my original intention and turn to continue my search for Rosaline. You still have things to do tonight? I nod and call back to him as I'm quitting the room. But you should go to sleep already. After a fast report to Rosaline, a sign for need of help came in from Tsurugi, and I headed out for the second time. Although there are no late arriving Shin users, the number of the demons entering the academy fields has grown significantly, even with the strengthened barriers. With Tsurugi, we can handle it smoothly, but we spend almost all the night outside fighting and return only when the sun starts to rise above the horizon. The next day, I awake at the sound of the alarm signaling that it's already past noon, and I've skipped almost all of my classes. With a yawn, I climb out of my warm blankets and put on my uniform and I head out. My eyelids close as I trudge along the way towards the main building with an occasional yawn. But turning at one of the crossroads, I bump into someone's broad back. Half asleep, it takes me a minute to take a step back. That minute is enough for me to catch the sweet fragrance of chocolate on the fabric of the person's clothes. Chocolate. Chocolate! Chocolate! Morning, Cheryl. Good morning. Have you perhaps not slept much last night? I only nod as an answer. I would prefer to keep this conversation short. I don't have the mental faculties right now. That's not good. Sleep is not something that one should skip on. I shrug and turn to leave, determined to finish talking to him. You shouldn't strain yourself so much, not even for the other's sake. I hear as he mumbles the last sentence, but only stops in my tracks when I'm several meters away and I already turned back to find Osamu nowhere to be seen. For a minute, I just kind of stand there, staring at the place Osamu was standing at just before. The way he said that last part was... After that, I attend to class, but realize immediately that it's no use as I sleep through it. Probably better if I skip on classes until some of the new members are trained enough to help out. There's not much anyway for me to learn there. After all, Rosaline made sure that I am prepared for all the exams this year, teaching me every day during the summer. On the way back, I overhear some people talking in the forest near the Rose Gate. The voices seem a bit familiar, so I head in their direction, and as I expect, I find familiar figures hiding in one of the bushes. They're whispering to each other and peeking out of the bushes in the direction of the Rose Gate. That girl is one of those, isn't she? I hear Enju saying to the others while pointing at a person standing in front of the Rose Gate. I take a closer look and see that it's a third-year student of the normal department and she's trying to open the gates. Oh, another controlled person. I take a step towards them, but even as I'm already almost behind them, the little group keeps talking between them, even though I did make sounds while walking. They're too caught up in their discussion, they're not paying any mind to their environment. They have a lot to learn. Well, that's why they're at school, right? To learn things. I will try using the gloves. It's only touching her with it anyway. The tall guy moves to stand up, but I catch him by the collar and hold him back from stepping out of their hiding place. Wait. The two girls squeak at the surprise, and the tall guy stops in the middle of the movement. Cheryl, when did you get here? It's not enough to only touch those who are being controlled. You need to hit them lately. Hit? But why? If you only touch them, they will only gain their consciousness back. But they sometimes have some faint memories from the time they were controlled. In addition, suddenly finding themselves surrounded by us, they would be confused. Pulling them out of their controlled state already causes them to almost faint, so with an added slight impact, they lose consciousness and will awake only hours later, believing they have had a strange dream. If they wake at all. I see. Then if I pat her a little harder in the back, will that be enough? I nod and let go of his collar. The tall guy steps out of the bushes. The girl by the gate doesn't react and keeps pulling on the wings of the gate. Though anxiously, he manages to give a light smack at the girl's back. At what she stumbles sideways, and Nova barely manages to catch her. Boy. Okay. And now what? Nova looks back at me with a worried expression in his eyes. We'll just leave her on the ground. I walk up to him and crash down to look through the girl's pocket. Finally, I find her student ID and take a look at the card. She is from the Lucent Fairy dorm, room 203. We're taking her back. I tell them while standing up and waving as a sign for them to follow me. Through the forest paths, we arrive at the Lucent Fairy dorm, and in no time, and with some instructions, I tell them to handle the rest alone. At this time, most of the students are in club activities or still in class, so probably no one is around. And how do we get in her room? The door will be open. But what if it's not? It will be. Okay, then leave it to us. They leave to take care of the matter rather confidently, but I decide to take a walk around so that I'm close by should any problems come up. As I walk around, I come by one of the back doors of the Lucent Fairy dorm, which stands wide open. I can hear someone's voice coming from the corridor behind the door. Curiously, I peek in and see a familiar face. We are alright, already moving in the dorm. The boy I met last night is talking on the phone, while his other hand plays with his scarf. His expression is a bit dazed, and he speaks scarcely and quietly, mainly listening to the other person on the phone. After a while, he hangs up the call. With a sigh, turns around and catches me staring at him. At seeing me, he only seems a bit surprised, but doesn't say anything, and only looks back at me. The glimmering eyes I remember from yesterday look at me with interest, but neither one of us attempts to start a conversation. Silence is finally broken by a boy who runs down the corridor towards us, shouting. Hey Ido, what's taking you so long? He stops and throws his arm around the black-haired boy in a friendly manner. You've been away for more than 20 minutes already, even though we're still not finished with unpacking. The boy called Ito looks at his friend and glances back in my direction, and his friend follows his gaze and looks at me. Then he looks back and forth between us as we keep looking at each other. First a bit confused, and then a wide grin spreads over his face. Hey, you know, you two can enjoy your love at first sight later on too, Ito. Now we need to finish moving in the dorm and getting ready for school tomorrow. Love? At first sight? We both look at him surprised, but he only chuckles and he pulls his confused friend back with him as he waves goodbyes, still grinning. After the first tiring days of the school year pass, the rest of the week goes by relatively peacefully. Though Tsurugi, Rosaline, and myself are all constantly busy, we manage to keep order in the academy fields and show the new members how things go around here. The following week, we are waking up early in the morning. I make my way to the diner that is filled with noise and laughter. Ah, Cheryl, good morning. And I am greeted with Rosaline's bright smile, which makes a shiver run down my spine, knowing its meaning all too well. She wants me to do something. She wants me to do something. Something that I won't like, I refuse. The noise dies down to my harsh answer to her warm greeting. You are so cute. I refuse. What's going on? Cheryl seems somehow grumpy. Beats me. Rosalind stands up, all clapping her hands together, wants to draw everyone's attention. So everyone, Rui has finished up your combat attire, so today we're holding a training session for you to start learning how to use your Shin. We will start by having some of you try themselves against our darling Master Sword Fighter. I refuse. From the corner of my eyes, I can see Laggy with raised brows. The twins seem unaffected, while Kotoya looks unworriedly, and Shin looks over at our debate with a piercing gaze. That's a shame, even though I have something special for you as a reward. To reinforce my decision, I turn away while she rustles in her pocket and pulls something out, and I can hear her tear something open. It's chocolate. This was made in Germany by a famous artisan. It's really hard to get. It would be a shame to waste it. Chocolate. She's trying to bribe her with sweets. I can't even imagine that working. My body moves instinctively, and in a second the bar of chocolate is already in my hands. Biting off a few squares, I savor the sweet and aromatic taste of the handmade chocolate as it melts in my mouth. Then I'm counting on you today, Cheryl. Yeah, I bet you are. That day, a few hours after breakfast, everyone gathers excitedly in the backyard of the dorm for training. I stand in the middle of the field with Laggy, Victoria, Nova, and Shin by my side, while the others sit under the trees waiting for their turn. Alright, before we start, I would like to make an announcement. The past week, I have witnessed that some of you can use your Shin on a rather good level. So today, you will show us how you can cope with an actual fight. Those who do well today can probably start assisting our work. Okay, then who out of our four of you dare to go first against our dear Cheryl? There aren't any rules, just don't kill each other. Rosalind explains with a loud voice so everyone can hear, then turns to the group sitting beside me. They seem a bit uncertain, and no one comes forward immediately. I take a sideways glance at my potential opponents, then cross the field with long strides, turn around and draw my double swords. What is this? All of you are scared to fight such a small girl. Rosalind's sarcastic laughter rings through the grounds. I can say that Laggy and Nova are about to open their mouths, but it could get cut off. I'll do it. Swords against guns. That sounds interesting. At Rosalind's command, the boys stand behind her. Victoria Hurd takes her place at the other end of the field and readies herself by taking out one of her guns. She's planning to only use one gun. She had two. Maybe one is all she needs. I look her straight in the eyes and realize she's a bit uncomfortable. She's not used to fighting against another person. The worry of hurting the other is clearly apparent in her eyes. I stall, thinking whether to warn her, but come to the decision that she'll better understand by experience. In a fight, you can't hesitate. Victoria stands still, waiting for my attack. I take a step forward and see her shoulders tense. Another step, and another, and another. I see confusion arise in her eyes. I take a strong hold on the sword in my right hand and make movement from which she expects me to start running towards her, but instead throw the sword in her direction. Taken aback, she only manages to evade it at the last second while I break into a run. At the time she realizes I'm already by her side and she is only able to shoot with her gun once, which doesn't even scratch me. The next second I'm already beside her arm where she can't attack me, pointing my sword at her. I hear Rosalind clapping her hands together as a sign of the end of our fight. Alright girls, that wasn't bad. But I will say this again so everyone gets it. Fight Cheryl with all you got. You know, like you're being, like, it's a life or death situation here. Now please take a seat, Victoria, while the gentlemen give it a try too. Victoria nods and does as she's told, all along deep in thought. Now, how about you go up next, Shin? Rosalind asked the golden-eyed boy who was standing aloof behind her. Sweetly, but is only faced with a cold glare from his side. No. What, is there a problem? Shin doesn't even bother to answer or further explain his refusal before turning away, walking up to one of the trees and resting there away from everyone with the cold glare remaining on his features. But Rosaline isn't fazed by his behavior and turns to the other two, remaining on her side with a smile. I still glance at Shin's sitting figure, just now. He acted the same way as he did back when he met Miss Tara. As much as I feel a bit anxiousness persist in myself, I forcefully tear away my thoughts from the scene that had just happened and concentrate back on the task at hand. I look back as I hear nearing footsteps. Okay, then it's my turn. I look over at the tall guy approaching me. He's wearing steel gloves and boots and is carrying a metal weapon that is even taller than he is. That is an unusual attire. The heavy armor will probably slow him down. I'm certain its function is not protection, but to enhance his Shin in some way. Counter to Victoria, he takes the initiative and lunges forward, forcing me into defending. For a while, I let him attack me, only defending myself, expecting him to use his Shin, but to no avail. He's attacking me constantly, but not senselessly. He is keeping his Shin hidden for now. He's an experienced fighter. To boot, he has already seen me fight, so he is trying to take advantage of that. Okay, then I will go along with it. I steady my feet and slash him with my sword. He easily blocks with his staff, and like that, we keep out pushing the other. But Nova's physical strength is without a doubt more than mine, and while he can keep this state up using only one arm, I need to use both swords. Finally, he raises his other arm and makes a hit on his metal weapon. It starts vibrating tremendously. In a matter of seconds, the vibration starts spreading over my swords and in my own body. I have to get away from him. With the sidestep, I get out of his way, and with my swords, lead his weapon to strike the ground. By the end of the movement, I feel my knees weaken and end up stumbling and falling on my back. Nova strikes again immediately. The vibration of the weapon stopped. I stop the attack with one of my legs, but I can feel right away that I won't be able to hold out long. Feeling that one of my swords is still in hand, I take a deep breath and swish it, aiming for his legs, all along making sure I only use so much force that he will fall over. First, such a luminous stroke. From my attack, he loses his footing. I use that chance to kick upwards with my other leg, making him land on my other side, and with a roll, finally reverse our position, standing above, ready to strike. It seems that during the fall, he let go of his weapon, so he is now unarmed. Nova looks up at me with arched brows like he doesn't even understand what happened. Nova! I hear voices speaking all over the field, and Rosaline clapping as I take a step back to let him stand up. Ouch, that hurt. And here I thought I got you. That was nice. You made sure I'll use the sigil. Alright, it's my turn. I look at Laggy, who has already come up to take Nova's place with a wide grin on his face. I wait until Kotoyo, who has run up to Nova's side, helps him up and out of the field before I answer with a nod. I'll give it my all, so get ready. Oh, he's really enthusiastic. He flashes me a friendly but challenging smile, and somehow I feel myself relax. He raises a fist while he's still meters away from me. He is going to use his Shin. With a wave of Laggy's fist, golden flames flare around him and are sent in my direction. At the sight of the huge golden flames, I feel the blood freeze in my veins. My knees weaken, my shoulders and hands start to slightly shiver. And I stand there as the flames approach, encircling me slowly. I can almost feel my skin burning painfully under the glowing fire. All I can see are the dancing flames, and my vision slowly blurs into darkness as I feel myself both burn from the scorching flames and freeze from the fear that takes over every bit of my body and soul. Okay, that'll be enough. At the moment I hear Rosaline's words, I feel the heat encircling me disappear, and slowly my vision starts to clear up. The flames have all vanished into thin air. My body weakened at the realization before falling on my knees, my body still shaking. I look down, trying to get my breathing steady and regain my strength. I don't even hear the running footsteps. Hey, are you alright? My shoulders grabbed and I start to shiver at the touch. Laggy peers at my face with a worried expression. However, as he keeps his hand on my shoulder, I feel the previous fear taking me over once again. With a sudden surge of energy, I shove his hand away and I rush away from out of the training field. Oh no. For hours, I wander the academy grounds aimlessly, not having any mood or will to return to the dorm. As the time for lunch nears, I'm tempted to fetch some food, so I tread along the road towards the Crystal Roads fields. However, I become slower with each step and take my time looking up at the sky, letting a weary sigh escape my lips. I hear the rustling of leaves coming from the woods to my right. With slow steps, I enter the forest and look around for the origin of the sounds, catching sight of a familiar face. The boy called Aito, who I heard talking on the phone the other day, is standing beside a tree, casting his gaze upwards. What is he doing? This place is far off any academy building. Only crystal rose fields are close. It's rare that normal students come by here. The thought of him being controlled runs through my mind. I approach him cautiously, but when I call out to him, he looks my way, though in a rather dazed manner. From the way he looks and reacts, I can tell for certain that he hasn't lost consciousness. What are you doing here? Taking his time, he stays quiet as he scratches the side of his face and looks away like he doesn't want to answer, then finally answers in a small voice. I followed someone here. What? He is acting rather suspiciously. Someone who? Suddenly the leaves on the tree above us start rustling loud and I feel something landing on top of my head. Surprised, I blink a few times and realize that Aito is now staring at me intensely. He raises his hand and points at the thing on top of my head. Her. Meow. It's a cat. Meow, meow. Won't you take her off my head? But it looks cute like this. I kept staring at the boy, expecting him to understand that I'm not in the mood for having a cat nestle on my head. But it is kind of cute. Finally, he steps to my side and stretches his hands out toward the cute creature. I feel as it gets to its feet and with a tender motion leaps on Aito's outstretched arm, moving up to his shoulder. The cat starts purring happily as it nuzzles into the boy. I glance at Aito one last time, ready to turn around and walk away, but realize that I'm still being stared at. You are actually more like a dog. What? You just called me a dog. Somehow I feel like I can't follow the way this guy's thinking. I look at the boy, expecting him to explain what he means. However, he just keeps gazing at me. Though now, instead of his usual dazedness, he looks show interest and fondness. I feel my previous anxiousness fade away slightly and ask him with honest interest. What do you mean? At my question, his eyes widen slightly. He lets out a small gasp and looks down. The other students say that you're like the cat of the Crystal Rose class, unpredictable and only doing what you have the mood for. But to me you seem more like... Talking all along in a small voice, Aito's voice slowly dies out as he explains, looking away. Understanding what he means, I'm slightly intrigued as to why he has come to that conclusion, but I feel that I shouldn't push it. Excuse me, I should go back. I follow his figure with my eyes until it disappears. Somehow, I want to talk to him more. Feeling myself eased after talking to Aito, I come to the conclusion that it would do me better to keep walking for a while. With that thought in mind, I go around the rows of the academy, eventually ending up at the main building where I see another familiar figure. Kiryu. Hearing his name called, my childhood friend looks up from the reference book he is reading while having lunch. That's a clipboard, not a book. I can see one of his eyebrows twitch upon seeing me, which means he is still irritated. Despite realizing that, I walk up to him and take a seat on the bench beside him. I feel his gaze following me, but as I look at him again, the coldness has faded from it. He doesn't say okay or ask anything, but instead hands me a sandwich before getting back to his book. I nibble on the sandwich, leaning my back against his side while he reads. This is what I like about Kiryu. We may annoy each other to no end, but he understands me the most. He knows how I feel even without any words said. As I finish eating, I just silently stay by his side and slowly doze off under the warm sunlight. I awake in my bed the next day in the morning. Whoa, I slept for a long time. I didn't realize how tired I got. With a yawn, I get out of bed, thinking of having a square meal. I feel my stomach rumbling with hunger. I jog down to the empty diner. On the table, there's a huge plate of toast with jam and fruits. That really is amazing. We are always welcome with warm, delicious meals when we need it, even if it's the dead of night or 5 o'clock at dawn. It's gotta be like fairy magic that makes the food or something. I hungrily eat up, enjoying the silence of the early morning. Ah, you're early, Cheryl. Morning. I greet her nonchalantly, even though I see a bit of worry in her eyes, which eases her as she takes the seat opposite of me. You only eat sweet things? More or less. That doesn't sound like a healthy diet. It really does pay close attention to what we eat to make our diet balanced. Mine is mostly sweet, so I ignore all that stuff. Really? Oh, it seems like we aren't the only early birds. I half expect Nova to walk in, but my expectations are cruelly betrayed. Good morning. Oh. Sure, I haven't seen you since yesterday. We were all worried. Uggy walks up to me with hastened steps. The memories from yesterday came flooding back and my shoulders tense just from having him close by. Say, are you alright? When he makes a movement that gives me that feeling that he might touch me, I stand up abruptly, knocking over my chair and slap his hand away. Uggy freezes at my reaction. Oh, so many people are already up. What's going on here? I would like to know that too. Uggy takes a step towards me and I instinctively lash out at him, feeling a shiver run down my spine. Stay away! What? What the hell? We finally started to get along and now you're acting this way? Glaring at me and not wanting to even stay in the same room. I know. I know it's not his fault, but I can't simply stand it. Even the memory of those burning flames make me quiver with fear. Did something happen? There was a little accident yesterday in training. Cheryl almost got hurt by Laggy's attack. And after that, she haven't said a word and haven't appeared until now. And now she's acting this way. Tsurugi glances at them confused and then peeks in my direction and immediately grasps the situation. Laggy. What is your Shin? Huh? Fire? I thought so. God, this is trouble. What? Tsurugi rubs his temple, thinking about this disconcerting turn of events. What? Cheryl has pyrophobia. What? And not a light one. So that's why. Does that mean it's hard for her to even be near Laggy? Ah! Tsurugi escapes from Kotoyo to behind the boy's back and nods from there as an answer. Laggy turns on his heels, probably to speak to me, but I burst the back door of the diner open and I'm already out of the room before he could even mutter a word. Pyrophobia. Days later, I'm resting under a tree after an exhausting night when I'm called by one of our new members. Ah, Cheryl. There you are. I open one of my eyes to look at the girl standing above me, then close it back. Do you have some time to talk? I'd like some advice. Some advice? I nod. She sits down beside me, takes out a small notepad and pen while telling me she prefers to note everything down. She won't forget anything. Finally, she starts talking with a serious expression. You see, my special ability is kind of passive, so I can't use it in fighting. That's why I'm a bit worried that I couldn't help out much. When I talked about this with Rosaline, she said this can be compensated if I train myself well physically. That's true. Rosaline herself has a passive ability, as she's the strongest among all of us. Yes, he mentioned that, but she seemed really occupied. After her, you seemed the most experienced in the field. I was thinking I should try to use a weapon, probably. But to tell you the truth, I don't really know where to start. Using a weapon would be too early. And with everyone busy, we couldn't even help you in choosing one. If you want to train yourself physically, first you should improve your physical fitness in general. With that, probably one of our new members could help too. Alright. But like this, I won't be able to help out in the foreseeable future. She really wants to do something. I mean, that makes sense, right? Well, I mean, it must be hard not being able to help out her friends. And what is your Shin? Oh, let me show you. She smiles happily, bringing a finger to her temple as she keeps looking at me. Suddenly, a thought surfaces in my mind that answers my question. Mental abilities such as projection and telepathic communication. I see. It's actually not bad. What are its limits? Can you have a conversation through telepathic communication? No, I can only send short messages and images, but if I know the person, then I can do it in a 20-kilometer range and several people at once. Well, it's not really an ability that can be used in a direct fight, but when working in teams, it would come in handy. And actually, it could be of help even before she trains herself. Actually, learning to use your Shin at a high level would probably count as great aid too. Huh? Right now, we communicate through crystals made by Rui, but they leave an extra burden on her besides holding up the barriers. And if you could ease that burden even a bit, then that could actually mean saving lives. Really? In fact, she might be able to do something now already. Perhaps she could she could combine her powers with Rui's magic and then it could work. But I'm sure Rosalina's already realized that and is in the process of working it out. There you are, Kyotoyo. The other said you skipped class suddenly. I got worried. Nova runs up to us with Rishu and Reimei following him. No need to be so protective. Just wanted to talk with Cheryl. You're in a really good mood. I'm fired up. It's good to finally know what I should do. Nova blinks confused, but then flashes a sweet smile. I don't quite get it, but good to see you get over that gloomy mood before. I stand up, seeing that it's getting noisy here since I feel myself getting sleepy again. I turn to walk away from the small group, but am shouted at by two people at the same time. Thank you, Cheryl. I hope we can talk some more later. Hey, where you going? We just came here and you just go and ignore us? Annoying. Disregarding his words, I continue walking until I hear another voice sounding behind me, which actually makes me turn back. Cheryl? I look back and meet Aito's familiar, glimmering eyes that still take my breath away. The boy's voice is quiet as usual, but I can hear it even beside the other boy shouting. And she reacts to his call. Taking a look at Aito, I realize that the cat from the other day is on his shoulder again. Probably fond of him. Probably fed him. Don't you ignore me. God, I have no idea why Reimei looks up to you. Then act in a way that makes me not want to do that, Mr. Idiot Sister Maniac. I tell him flatly, not casting a glance towards him or bat an eyelid when he gets enraged after that. But I don't miss the small change in the way Aito is looking at me. You are unbearable. Seriously, Reimei, rethink your opinion of this girl. Till now, at least you admired the people who deserved it, like Nova, but she's... No, don't talk out of jealousy like that. Cheryl's a nice person. That's right. To tell you the truth, after our fight, I kind of look up to her myself. You're kidding. You guys too? She's totally rude, smug brat. Like Rishu is getting a bit too worked up over this. Is it really so important to hear to him who her sister likes? Wait, is it really so important to him who his sister likes? That should be his, not her. Then you. What do you think about her? He points at Aito, who takes a step back from the surprise of getting pulled in like this. Answer. He is professional at getting on other people's nerves. Maybe that's his Shin. I think she's strong. What? Well, I guess she does seem like someone who could take down even a hella muscular guy. Whoa, he actually agreed with somebody complimenting me. That may be true. But what I meant was that she's being herself in front of everyone without any pretense. Pretense with a C. She does and says what she truly wants and thinks, even while knowing that people will probably not like it or may even come to hate her. And I think that requires great strength, don't you? It definitely does, right? Just being yourself. Strength that I would be happy to have too. The last part he says in a barely audible voice as he looks at the ground, so only I managed to catch that part. I don't really get what you mean, and why you're talking so quiet. I can barely hear you. Aito looks away, petting the cat on his shoulder. Meow. The cat nuzzles its head to Aito's hand and keeps meowing as Aito whispers something to it, like it can hear him. Strange fellow. Yeah, a little bit. Ido's shoulder twitches slightly at Rishu's remark, but he lets his hand down, trying his best to avoid looking into anyone's eyes. That was rude, Rishu. Yeah, that was rude. But... Brother? What is it, Remy? Shut the hell up already. Whoa, hello. You're so embarrassing. I already feel so ashamed just knowing you're my brother. But you keep barking like an arrogant idiot. If someone is a brat here, it's you. Well, they're at it again. And you wonder why I never want to admit that we're related. Why can't you act like a big brother, Nova? He's their big brother? I glance at the tall guy, but he shakes his head and whispers to me while Reimei keeps telling her brother off loudly. She calls anyone she really admires big brother or big sister. For God's sake, I hate you so much. Why don't I have to have the most uncool person in the world for a big brother? Shouting that at his brother, her brother. Reimei stomps away, steaming with anger, while Rishu pales dead white and falls on his knees. She hates me. I almost expect him to burst into tears, but he just keeps mumbling those words. Poor guy. Great, now I'll be like this for at least a day. These siblings are a bit... troublesome? The other two nod in sync. It's obviously not the first time seeing a quarrel between their brother and sister. More like they appear to be used to it. With a sigh, I turn to look at Aito, only to notice that he has left during the commotion. Maybe that was too much for him. Probably. The week passes by, a tense atmosphere hanging in the air, with me noticeably avoiding Laggy and the sibling quarrel recurring a few times. But probably what distresses everyone the most is the fact that the incidents with controlled people are happening more and more often. It almost becomes a part of our daily routine to take care of at least one. And at the same time, we're still trying to figure out the reason. Like, why? Why is it happening? At the end of the week, Rosaline orders everyone to assemble in the diner during the afternoon. Well, I called everyone here because, as I had mentioned before, there are some new members who are giving signs that they might be able to give us a hand soon. Tonight, Nova, Shin, Victoria, Julie, and Loriath will take part in their first night stroll with. I immediately raise my hand, knowing the other ones don't have to help out in training the others. With Cheryl. Alright. Understood. I will do my best. For the rest of the day, take a nap. You'll need it. As for the others, you will have a long training session with Tsurugi this afternoon, so hurry and get ready to start. Alright. After a good rest, I wait in the entrance of the dorm, looking forward to a likely long night. After everyone gathers, we leave the Crystal Rose grounds at dusk. Silently, we make the rounds, and as expected, soon run into some demons. Ah, these are the ones we had trouble with when we arrived. Yeah, these are hunter-type Onkukus, one of the common demon species. We already fought them before, too. Me too. Everyone already met them. Yeah, we've run into them so many times I can't even count. Then. Defeat them first, talk later. Yeah. With that, they get into a fight as I look over them. As expected, Nova fights in the front, and his experience shows in the way he's fighting. Victoria seems to have learned from our fight that as she attacks with certainty now, automatically taking on the role to watch everyone's back. They're both fast learners, good at adaptation and teamwork. Glancing at Shin and the twins, who for now stay back, I realize I don't even know what their powers are. The twins appear to be a bit wary, like they don't want to act hastily. Meanwhile, Shin doesn't show any sign that he wants to take part in the fight. Suddenly I hear a noise from behind my back. There are demons coming from there. I put my hand on the hilt of my sword as I catch sight of a demon running towards me. But before I can act, Shin steps in front of me, tears the glass cube hanging on his necklace off, and throws it into the air. The glass cube starts spinning in the air, emanating a turquoise blue light. A few seconds later, it stops, and I can see the number shining on the side of the cube. 2. Is that a dice? The light fades and the dice dissolves into thin air. At the same time, a pair of long knives materialize in Shin's hands, just in time for him to cut down the demon lunging at us. Other demons appear after that one just attacked me, but Shin defeats them without a hitch. His moves are all along agile and steady. He doesn't make a single misstep or wavers for even a second. He's a skillful fighter with much experience behind his back, and in addition, the manner he uses knives is splendid. However, his fighting style seems a bit rough, which means he learned how to fight through actual fights. He manages to finish off all the demons without breaking a sweat, then takes a look back at me. Are you alright? I narrow my eyes as I return his gaze, but in the end, I turn back to the rest of the group, leaving his questions unanswered. From the corner of my eyes, I see that the twins are still keeping away from the fight after previous attacks. Shin starts taking part, although he doesn't work together with either Nova or Victoria. Out of nowhere, a deafening roar echoes through the academy grounds, followed by a deep growl. It's coming from close by. I'm about to call everyone back when the trees a few meters from us start crackling and rustling. The shadow of a huge, bulky creature emerges from them. Nova takes a few slow steps backwards, a bit intimidated. Another demon? I don't answer. Waving at him to come closer to us, I draw both of my swords, step out from the circle of the little group, and stomp my feet to the ground to draw the beast's attention to me. This unquestionably works. It unquestionably works, for, in the next instant, the creature strikes in my direction with its huge fist. I kick myself in the air, so its fist only crashes the ground that I've been standing on. I land on its arm and kick myself up again, to this time land on its back. Planting my feet on its muscled back, I get both my swords ready to attack and raise them one in my left hand. First sigil, luminous stroke. My sword shines brightly and sends a large illuminated slash to the beast's body that makes it growl ferocious, fiercely, injured. It starts shaking its body to make me get off, forcing me to get up in the air again. It tries snatching after me, but by then I'm already ready to set off my finishing move. First sigil, luminous stroke. My other sword shines out brightly, and an illuminated slash double the size of the previous one makes the creature wobble and fall forward as its silhouette turns into scarlet dust. The moment I land on the ground, the bushes beside me start to rustle, and dark green spikes start shooting out of it. Damn it! I'm protected from this sudden attack by Loriath, who jumps in holding a blade bigger than himself. Blocking the attack, he lifts the second sword. Lifts the sword off like it's a featherweight and slashes through the bushes with it. A bird-like demon springs out from among the leaves. Don't let it escape, I shout, expecting the Ankaka demon to escape at lightning speed, but this one moves far slower than the usual one, so Victoria has no problem catching it with a single shot. That's unusual. Finally finished him. Got a bit worried when the huge demon appeared. That wasn't a demon. It wasn't? Then what was it? I opened my mouth ready to answer him, but realized that Shin, who stands a bit away from us, is cradling Julie's small body in his arm. The girl is seemingly unconscious. What happened? I don't know myself. That happens when we use our Shin. Loriath answers shortly as he walks up to us, letting go of his sword, which changes into a little transparent globe, floats to Julie and enters her body. The girl gains her consciousness back immediately. She looks up at Shin with a sweet smile. Thank you. Shin pats her head gently and lets her down. The girl trots back to her brother's side, and as if nothing had happened. While we use our power, either me or Julia becomes unconscious and stays like that till we stop using it. Boy, no wonder they were so wary on when to use it. It's a really dangerous condition. After that, we continue our stroll. Fortunately, the night goes on rather peacefully. As a way to pass the time, and the others start asking me various different questions. Shirley, you said before that the big thing wasn't a demon, right? That was a beast. A beast? And how is that different from a demon? Demons have magical powers, while beasts have only huge physical power. It was one of the most dangerous creatures, right? That's why you fought it yourself? Oh, not that much. You could have probably beat it together, but I was told to only let you fight weaker rank 5 demons or sorts. Rank 5? There's a ranking for demon species? Yes, the founders of Crystal Rose had formed one as a way to help us. Then those Ankakus are rank 5, and the strongest ones are rank 1? That's correct. Once I met one that was like a phoenix. I remember it was really hard to even escape from it. Was that perhaps a higher ranking demon? I met one of those too and managed to defeat it, though I was injured greatly. You defeated it? It's amazing, man. Nova smacks Shin's back as a way to show his acclaim, but the boy almost trips at how hard the tall guy does it. He takes a step away from Nova afterwards, looking like he doesn't know how to react. A Funkins. Funkins, that's its name? And what is its rank? 4? You're kidding. That's rank 4, then what's a rank 1 like? I look away, preferring not to answer, and turn at a crossroad to check the area around the teacher's accommodations. I pull out a bar of chocolate and from my sleeve of the kimono and break a square from it. You really love chocolate. That's for sure. I couldn't live without it. And, I mean, we're all friends and all, but I'm not sharing this. That's cute. You're the cute one. Why are they laughing? After a night of fighting, we return to the dorm at dawn. Standing by the door, I wait for everyone to enter the building, but stop the last person trailing after the group alone. Shin. Yes? I don't need you to protect me like that. I'm not some defenseless child who needs to be taken care of. With that said, I enter the building, and after my usual report to Rosaline, I get to sleep off the tiresome night behind my back. Boy, that was like kind of mean, right? A few days later, Tsurugi and I are called to the diner by Rosaline to discuss the progress of the new members and what to do about the incidents involving controlled people. I have decided that Nova and Victoria will start helping you out on night strolls from tomorrow. They still have a lot to learn, but the way things are going, we don't have much choice. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to guarantee everyone's safety for a long time. With that, we can probably allow to keep the barriers at a bit of a weaker state so I can concentrate more on training the new members. I would especially like Kotoyo, who Shin would mean a great advantage for us to be able to help out as soon as possible. What about the others, Shin and the twins? Those three. They're really skillful, probably even stronger than Nova and Victoria, but the twin Shin has a really dangerous condition to use. At least 2 other persons are needed for them to be able to fight without danger. Oh, that's not good news. And Shin has a great lack when it comes to teamwork and communication with others. If worse comes to worse, I will have him help, but I would prefer to keep him away from the battlefield for now. I see. Now let's get back to our main problem, those incidents. I have come to the decision that we have to act on that matter right away. For now, the appearances of those not controlled, haven't meant danger for us, but we can't tell when that will change. And the way the occurrences have increased implies that we can expect something to happen in the not-so-far future. Yeah. And we can't allow that. The safety of our situation is extremely fragile. If we let such a possible danger arise, it might crumble to pieces. But unfortunately, we still have no clue on anything about the incident, so we will choose the only option left besides waiting. We will set up a trap. A trap? But even if we do, will they fall for it? No, without doubt, we have to be really careful and do it in a way so they don't realize anything. That's why this plan will be a secret for the rest of the Crystal Rose members too. We can't allow the slightest chance of it getting out. I still need to get Rui's agreement for it, but I expect her to give the go-ahead. For now, please keep acting according to your duties. I will tell you the details tomorrow. Alright. Okay. Hopefully nothing happens until then. It does. I'm counting on you too. Look at me. I'm yawning. I'm tired. I need to go to sleep. I nod silently just as Tsurugi does the same, feeling the grave weight of the statement. The next day I head out early, planning to attend classes properly that day. I walk with slow steps on the yet empty academy roads leading to the main building. I was the first one who left the dorm, and as there is still more than an hour left until the start of classes, even normal department students are nowhere to be seen. But this early hour feels really pleasant to me now. The silence, the calmness, and the slightly chilly spring breeze ease the tension in my shoulder and clears my head. When I turn on the road leading up to the entrance of the main building, I notice a small figure standing idle in the middle of the road. I recognize the person from her blazing scarlet hair reaching under her waist. Lila! I jog up to her, feeling up to having such a cheerful and energetic person for company. Morning, Lila! At my greeting, I only get utter silence from her. She doesn't even turn my way. I take a step to her side, glancing to peek at her face. Lila's face lacks of any emotion, her usual cheerful smile replaced by an expressionless look as she keeps looking away in the distance with glazed eyes. She's being controlled, but this is strange. Compared to the other controlled, she isn't moving, she's just standing in one place. For now, I will release her from this state. I steadily stand in front of Violet and hit her lightly on the side. Then, as expected, she falls forward and I catch her lying gently on the ground. Looking at her, I sweep the locks of hair out of her face. I feel anger welling up inside of me at the sight of her vulnerable state. Taking a deep breath and letting it out, I calm myself down. I raise on my feet, looking around the road and its environment. From the corner of my sight, I saw a shadow hiding behind a tree. There's someone here. I keep looking around, acting like I haven't seen anything as I think of my next step. Attack them! I might be the one who's behind those incidents. I can't let them get away! I slide my hand unnoticeably at the hilt of my knife on my thigh and pull it out slowly. The second it's out of its sheath, I leap towards the place I believe to have seen the shadow moving. As I jump in, someone swiftly brushes past me, and within my peripherals, I notice a scarred blade in their hand. I kick myself back by placing a foot on the tree up ahead and jump after the figure. Our blades clash. A boy a few inches shorter than me stands in front of me. With piercing eyes, he examines me as we cross blades again and again. After holding that fight up for several minutes, his previously sleepy expression turns into a brassy grin as his eyes start gleaming with satisfaction. You're strong. Sadly, I can't have a match with you right now, but I look forward to the next time we meet. With those words, he dodges my last attack, jumps out of my range, and sprints away nonchalantly. I look after him, then look back and Lila lying behind me. I can't leave her like this. I sheath my knife and walk back to her. But before I can touch her, she stirs and starts to get up. She's already up. I crouch down to help her stand up, but... What? She's still being controlled. I touch her with my gloves again, this time directly on her skin, but no change. She keeps looking at me with glazed eyes. The gloves. They're not working anymore. No! Oh, that's the end of the demo. That was fun. It wasn't long, but it was fun. I'm actually really looking forward to this one. The demo end. That's pretty cool. So that was Reimei no Gakuen. Currently in development. I don't have any ETA or anything on when it's going to come out. So, unfortunately, I can't really give any hard details, but I will link in the description, the Twitter accounts, and the demo page where you can download it and, you know, keep up on the development process and all that fun stuff. And that is the end of the game. And I hope you all enjoyed it. I know it was a long one, but that's just how it goes sometimes. I mean, we knew it was long going in. Innuendos. But, alright. That's enough of that. And I will see you all next time. And have a good day.